Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Low Fuel Motorsport. My name is Olaf, aka Bob's Racing, and I'll be your commentator for tonight as we're heading on to round number 9, week number 9. I've got a couple of tracks lining up for you. One of them is the track that you're seeing right now, the Paul Ricard circuit. And after the Paul Ricard circuit, we have Suzuka. But what series are we going for tonight? That is the same as every single week. First off, we have the PTT Racing Porsche Carrera Cup at Paul Ricard, followed up by the Case King Pro Series at Suzuka. Now, going for the Porsche Cup, I'm going to have a little look at what we saw last week out. We have those results with you right now. Here's the results from the Monza track. We have Carrera out in first, with Michael Fry in second and Giraud in third. So last week, round 8 at Monza. Of course, a very, very fast track. We're following it up with one of the faster tracks as well, Paul Ricard. The longest straight on the calendar, longest straight in the game as well. Unfortunately, we're not going to make much use of that straight today. Or we're going to use the straight, but not the corners that are attached to it, unfortunately. So we're going to have to use look at all the straight bits here. Monza, of course, has a long straight as well, so the drivers should be used to this. 37 cars finished last week in Monza, so that means we can head over to the standings of what we have currently going into the race. With Carrera leading with 8 races done, 6 victories under his belt, 8,400 points. Michael Fry trailing with 400 points. And after that, Florence in third place, trailing with another 214 points, making 614 in total. Now, that fight is not too close, but we do have a close fight for 5th place, with Bucher being only 22 points behind Kren, and for 9th place as well, Wasner only 32 points behind Modica for 9th place. So those fights are still going strong, as are some of the fights that you are seeing on the screen. So this is for the PTT Racing Porsche Carrera Cup that we're going to be seeing first. But before we go on to the action, I quickly want to dive into the Pro Series as well, because that's the race that we're going to be seeing after the Carrera Cup. I'm going to scroll this for a few seconds more until we can see the drivers that are basically out of the competition already, with only 1 race done. Currently week 9, which means we have 3 weeks to go. And the season finale, of course, I'll be there as well, doing all the coverage for week number officially 13, as we're moving everything over for the New Year's, which is, of course, going to be a very, very special event. So that was it for the PTT Racing Porsche Carrera Cup, at least for the standings and the results. Last week for the Pro Series, we had Carrera take home the victory for the feature race, and the sprint we had it go to Castorino, who came in third in that feature race, and Bellic taking 2nd place, moving up to 9th place overall in the standings, doing a great job there. Lots of cars, of course, for that Pro Series. Going to see some more today as well. Hopefully over the 30 this time around as well. We've had a lot of cars recently in all of these races, and we've had 2 rounds ago. At the Nordschleife, a 24-hour layout as well, 90-minute race, about 10-11 laps for that track. And with these results, we can head it over to the standings for the Pro Series, with Castorino weighing out in front, and Carrera having a bit of competition here, being squeezed or sandwiched by the Italians. Del Fonte in 3rd place, just trailing behind a couple of points. It's 196 to 2nd place and 197 further down from 2nd to 3rd, so they are quite in the sandwich of about 200 points, and behind that Foch in 4th place. And we've got a good fight here for 5th place as well. Michael Fry with 7,019 points, and Lindblom with 7,018 points, being separated by only 1 point. The fight for P5 definitely going to be on today. So first off, we have the PTT Racing Porsche Carrera Cup, a 12-minute qualifying session followed up by a 30-minute race, and after that we have the Case King Pro Series with a 15-minute qualifying session followed up by a 20-minute race, and then a 40-minute race. Now, I should have the password for the server. It hasn't been put in yet, which means that I'll have to quickly put that in. That should be right. Yeah, so we're just gonna have the Pro Series standings roll for a moment more. and I do have visuals on the track, which means that I can start connecting and I can start looking at these cars the way we should be looking at them. And we should have all of this ready. That means that I can quite possibly send this over to the live for the PTT Racing Porsche Carrera Cup. There it is. There are the cars currently waiting out for free practice. The car is not on track, but we will see them go when the qualifying starts in about 10 seconds time. So we'll have a few minutes before every single session, and that will be the same for the Pro Series. A few minutes for the drivers to load up their setups, and now we are into qualifying. Bucher taking the first spot. Car number 4 out first on the track. Currently on the pit wall, we have 30 cars lined up and registered on the track. So that's going to be a quite a spectacle going towards the start-finish line, because I don't think all the cars will fit before... No, they might fit after the final corner before the timing line. And one thing to note, and you might have already noted this before, it's Paul Ricard. It's pretty flat. It's pretty... It's pretty easy to go over the lines. There's these little boards everywhere that you can see. You saw them after turn 2 on the left-hand side of the track. We'll see them after the very long right-hander that Bucher is going on after this long straight. There we have them as well. Small little bollards, small little boards on the track that signal some extension of the track limits. Usually on parts like these, you have these white lines that you can't pass, and if you do, it's going to be a warning. And if you do it with too much time, it's going to be an actual warning, which counts as a track cut. Get 4 of those and you'll be served with a drive-through penalty. Not referencing these boards, these are the braking markers, but we'll see these boards here on the right, left-hand side, and the ones way further in the back where they're passing right now. Those boards signal that you have to go back onto the track, but you can pass over the lines a little bit more than you're used to. So Paul Ricard, I would say track limits are up to interpretation. At some points you can go over the line a little bit more than you can at others. And for qualifying, this is going to be important, because sometimes the drivers will maybe see those boards and think, I can go over a little bit more, and then they ruin their lap time. It's only 10 minutes. The lap times are going to be about 1.5 minutes. They want to do 2 stints, which means you do 2 laps, go in and do another 2 laps. If you can't do that, you're going to have a bad lap time. I mean, if you can't stay within the track limits, you're going to have a bad lap time. So Bucher now, the first car over the line to start it. And he is, I believe, being followed by Shins. Bucher is, as it stands, 6th in the standings. 22 points behind Kren in 5th. He's currently just starting a lap now. He'll be looking for that. For a good points finish to extend that lead. And as it stands, Caracas is way out in first with 400 points lead. I must say, I don't think I've seen Caracas here, which is going to be a small problem for him. He has not been present today. I believe everyone else in the top 10 is here, but Caracas is not here. We might hear something from some of the podium sitters once we get to the interviews later on. But there are there's no real contention here from Caracas. So that means that the lead is up for grabs for anyone currently that's close to him. That means that Fry can take it, Florence can take it, Giraud can take it, and I believe Kren as well, and Bucher, if it goes to anyone's plan. So we're going to have a good fight here for the lead of the championship. Does look quite good at the moment for the amount of cars that are eligible to take away that lead from Caracas. Now, as a reminder, we do have some drop rounds in place for races like these, where the driver just isn't able to attend due to reasons, and then they'll get their round not count, or their lowest scoring rounds not count. For most of the drivers, it will be a 0-point round, but some of them actually do perform every single weekend, and then they'll get, or every single week, I should say. It's a Thursday, and they'll they get the lowest runs removed. The Bucher sets the benchmark of a 156.0, Shins with a 56.9, and Florence immediately over it with a 55.3. So we're looking at quite some fast lap times. Into the 55s we go. And some more times into the 56, 58. 56 from Shins, that didn't count. He's gone over the track limits at some point. Radstrom in a 57.7. We can see the gaps on the left-hand side as well. These are the gaps to the leader. Florence currently in first place, and Bucher a little bit further back. Some more times being set every single second. We're going to see where Hawk Reiner can take his car. Currently the number 29 car dropping down as drivers behind him are setting a lap time. The number 29 car goes up to 17th place and now down to 18th as we have lots and lots of cars currently doing some lap times. Wasner putting it in second place. So the number 1 car in first, number 2 car in second. Now I'm looking around and I think because Caracas is highest rated of all the drivers that are signed up, and Florence getting the number 1 car, I believe that Caracas is just not present, not going to be here today, and the victory is open for anyone to take it. It's been 6 weeks in a row that Caracas has had victories, and now it's up for anyone to take. Wasner at the moment on a mega first sector. He's got some traffic out in front, might be able to sneak away some points from that, sneak away some distance. If he keeps it within the lines, that is. Florence has gone over from what I can see. And so has Radstrom behind Rademacher as well. Rainman as well. Shin's now putting it up to 7th place. That's a good lap from him. And Bucher starting his lap now. So Wasner taking away a little bit of a slipstream, but he should be lifting off here rapidly as there's cars in front of him. And that is the rule with qualifying. You cannot impede anyone. So if you're too slow and you're not on a lap, you have to get out of the way. But the problem is, what if you are on a lap? If you're on a lap, the car behind catches you, the car behind has to back off of their lap. It's your job to secure a spot on the track and to find a place where you can get your lap time in. So if you catch the car ahead, you have just misjudged your space and you can't do your lap. That's just what happened to Wasner. He's down 1.5 seconds, is going to be recounting his feet and making sure he can get over the line here with a good space. Seppinen now in 11th place. Has got some lap time improvement on this lap. He's going to go up by a few tenths. That's going to put him around P8, P9. So if he can take away the position from Shins, he can't. That's going to be P10, just barely half tenth behind Prol in 9th. Some more improvement further down for Modica, currently in 9th position in this final sector. Slightly brutal at times. It's a good combination of corners if you have the grip, and if you don't, you're going to be absolutely cooked before you even reach turn number 2 in sector 3. But more and more improvement for Modica in 15th at the moment. The number 8 car crossing the line and going from 15th to 9th place with a 157.0. Over the line goes Rancaño, and Kren held purple for a moment, but now seems to be in a small fight with some other cars on the track. They're trying to set their lap times. The drivers just not able to get past each other. And there is so much space further up on the track. Kren going over the line, improving by about 3 tenths, but not getting a single position improvement, staying in 3rd place, but only 2.5 tenths behind the provisional pole at the moment. So we're having to wait for other cars to get past. Radstrom now from 14th to 9th with a good improvement. Rademacher, the same amount of improvement, currently in 15th. Will he be able to match Modica's 9 position improvement and head up to the top part of the grid and the bottom half of the top 10? Half a second improvement is not going to be enough. It's going to be P13 as it stands, and the drivers now into the pits for maybe one more go. Florence going for one more lap. Shins has crossed the line once more. And we'll be looking to do one more lap after this, maybe two, if everything goes according to plan. Sepponen now up to 9th place. Modica once again on the back end of a lap in Sector 3. This is where the lap went great last time around. That's also a small problem. If you've gone very fast on the previous one, you have to replicate it or lose time. And currently, the delta is increasing into the more and more green. 6/10 as it stands. It will put Modica into the top 5. Will that happen across the line? That's going to be 6th, just barely out of a top 5 start. Torgerson halfway through the lap with a small improvement. Looks to be taking away that spot if he gets this 3rd sector right. It's going to be a difficult one, like I say. And keep saying, I will keep saying, these lines, these corners can be taken with quite a few different lines. You go for the wide line in this corner almost always, unless you're fighting, because then maybe the inside line will just be a little bit quicker in terms of defending, just trying to send the other car a little bit more wide. Torgerson now down to 9th, as we see Prohl jump up a spot. Rainman now up to 10th as well. The number 16 car making his way around the final corner. It's got one more lap in him, and this has to be the one. From 9th now up to 5th, I believe. That's going to be 5th place for Torgerson. Right behind Bucher, who can't set one more lap. From what I can see, he's stationary at the end. I believe his tires will cool down so much that if he starts a lap now, he won't make it any further. He is rolling a little bit. There is space. Maybe he's just looking for that gap. He's not getting it as it stands. It seems to be rolling again, but Florenz looks to get the domination down in Sector 1. Currently on provisional pole. The delta shows purple. That means he's faster than his previous lap, which is the provisional pole position time, or faster than his fastest lap, which is the provisional pole position time. Sector 1, slightly purple. He's dancing around the edge of it now, going on to the back straight. And hopefully for him, he can catch a little bit of a slipstream. And that was perfectly within the lines. It looked to be over a tiny bit, but from the looks of it, he's just stayed within those limits of the boards. On the straight, not gaining too much time just yet. That means that he's going to be staying on his toes for this final bit. Whilst they're dropping in a 155.277. Is able to do one more lap after this. A little bit sideways for Florenz. Lots of cars now in the pits, and having that qualifying lap solidified. And it's now up to the top 2 to battle it out. And Florenz not improving so far. Still has one more sector to go. He's halfway through the 3rd now, but will have some space to do something about that pole position for Wasner. Currently in 10th place. Florenz in 3rd. Next to Fry, a prime candidate to take home the championship lead, but Fry joining in very, very late. But I don't think there's going to be an improvement. It's going to be a small improvement, but not enough. Wasner is on the lap still. We'll be able to finish this one before the checkered flag is counted for him. So Fry is out at the moment. He's up ahead. This should be a qualifying lap for him. It should be a good one. He has a 1 out lap, and he will make his first timed lap, his only timed lap, for 2nd in the standings. And rounding that final corner. Can't look at the delta because that's not saying anything. The lap time from Fry is a 55.1. That's pole position for Michael Fry. A one and done, absolute beauty of a lap. Sadly, couldn't watch anything of that, as I didn't even think he was on the track. And Wasner now the driver to respond. Sees that and thinks, damn, I should have kept this purple delta going, because it's currently red going into the final turn. I don't think that's going to be an improvement. Needs a 10th.5. The delta isn't showing anything. And that means that Wasner will stay where he is with a small, little bit slower time, but that will be 2nd place for Wasner, and Michael Fry taking home pole position. So Michael Fry joining the grid quite late. He's just got pole position for basically for free. He hasn't really put in any. I mean, he has put in the effort, it seems, but he hasn't really put in too much of the running for the qualifying. Just came in very late. He's got the last pit box, which doesn't really matter because we are on a zero-stop race. Now all of a sudden, it's just skyrocketed up to that pole position, dropping Wasner in second and Florence in third. That means that we get to take a quick look at the grid for this event. Michael Fry in pole position. That is not what we're seeing right now, because I should have probably changed this over to the different series. Hold on, give me one quick moment. Don't believe I have the numbers for that. Should have checked that beforehand. That means we're doing it without the grid for today. We can do a little quick grid of our own. Michael Fry in first place, taking that pole position miraculously on the one lap that he had to do it, and he did it anyway. Wasner probably disappointed with not keeping that Delta Purple on that final lap. We'll start in second place, and with a good opportunity to get P1 back in lap number 1 or corner number 1. Florence right behind him to back him up on that pressure. Kren in fourth place, able to maybe snatch away a podium after these three up front are scrapping. Same goes for Bucher, who will be looking at those positions as well. Torgerson in sixth place. It's going to be lined up on row number 3. And Shins kicking off row 4. Had some unfortunate qualifying incidents earlier on with that track limit, and we're going to see that a lot more from every one of these drivers. Modica in 8th place. Had some good improvements. Angano with some of the track limit warnings in 9th. Pro, good qualifying session from him in 10th. Rainman in 11th. Now we're scooting over to the middle pack of the grid. Feedback in 12th place, just leading Sepponen in 13th, exactly on the place that his number says. Number 13 car in 13th. Radstrom being up one spot from his predicted place. It's going to be 14th on the grid. Rademacher up a lot of places from what we would expect from a number 21 up to 15th. Great qualifying, and his teammate for the Colorworks Racing team up to 16th. It's always a beautiful livery from this team. Very happy to see them with a Ladybug livery for today. Hornstein on 17th place. Schmiegold in 18th. Lesnoy following behind in 19th place. And Ryan's behind with that's a Halloween-themed Ladybug from the Colorworks Racing team. A little bit late. It says Happy Halloween. But it's currently almost, I think it's closer to Christmas than it is Halloween. So we should be happy season's greetings. Gross behind in 21st. Biggest in 22nd. I was going to say a beautiful Porsche as well. But these are all beautiful Porsches. Peterson in 23rd. Fit will take home 25th. Well, not take home 25th, but we'll take 25th off the line. Slade in 24th, I should say. Slade is going to be in 25th. Hodap in 26th. Rivera in 27th. Right ahead of Grund in 28th. Frank will be having P29 in the 28 car. Hochreiner will take 30th in the number 29 car. And then Malman will take 31st in the number 30 car. 2 more cars to go. That's going to be Drebin for the number 32 spot and Racciano in the number 33 spot. As you can see, the cars are driving, the cars are running, and that means we are ready for the formation lap. Cars on their way from the grid slot to this 30-minute event. We're ready for them to reach the start finish line so they can get going on this race. As it stands, I'm going to take the manufacturer's screen out for a second because we don't need that. Anyway, there's no way we should be looking at the manufacturers because they're all Porsches. Fry will lead the pack here. Let's see if he can do a miracle lap like he did in qualifying. See if he can do that during the race, during lap 1 as well. Gonna be a tough one to do so in turn number 1. They'll have the inside, but then turn number 2 comes right after, and that's going to be the outside line. And it's going to be pushed towards another outside one for turn number 3. As you can see on the minimap on the right-hand side of your screen, it's going to be a difficult time for Fry because he has Wasner behind. He's got Florenz behind, and Florenz is the driver that he's fighting with for the lead of the championship. Now that Carrera is out, he's showing his style on the straight. It's going to be a rough one to beat. Unfortunately, you don't get points for style. Would have been insane though. Bonus points for style, just time removal from your total race time. Maybe bonus points for the championship. He'll need 400 over Carrera, and I believe Carrera has been here almost every single weekend, so he's got a drop round to go, which means that he'll even maybe gain some points after this. We'll have to see after this event has concluded. A quick look at the standings to see what has moved where and why. The only drivers to win a race in this series at the moment, Carrera with 6 wins, Santama with 2. That goes up to 8 races so far, as we're in round 9. Rounding off 3/4 of the season, and then 3 events to go to finish out season number 20 and start 2026 with the finishing of season 20 and then the start of season 21 with a week break. So Carrera with 6 wins, Santama with 2 wins. They're both not here, which means that we will definitely get a new winner for today. And whether that's going to be Fry, Wasner, Florenz, Kren, Bucher, or anyone behind the top 5, we'll have to see. And we're going to do that in 30 minutes time. About 15, 16 laps to go for these drivers to make their mark on the Paul Ricard circuit. One more corner before the formation lap is over. Fry taking the outermost line to the grid. We're going to see them battle side by side into turn 1. Fry on the right hand side of your screen next to Sasha, Wasner, Florenz right behind with Kren on row number 2, Bucher and Torgerson on row number 3, Shins, Modica, Rancanio and Prol right behind as well. And we're green at Paul Ricard. Good start from Fry, but also from Wasner, who is locked in right behind, being pushed all the way towards the outside as far as he can go. Doesn't budge, goes a little bit wider for that better entry, but Fry knows better, has the inside line and will stay ahead. Small bump draft there, is being tapped to the rear, but stays in control of the car as someone is being pushed wide. I believe that's Torgerson, who is off the track. Or that might be Bucher actually pushed off the track, has gotten an overtake done off the track. That might not be legal, but we'll see Kren fight for his position there as the top 3 is as they were, and Kren will take that place away from Bucher once again as they're moving through the first corners of Sector 2, and this is where the long straight happens. This is where we can see an overtake at the end of it, with Michael Fry being under pressure from Wasner, trying to break the toe instantly after the corner exit, and the 3 cars lining up very quickly. Look at that. It's a very, very long straight here, and the slipstream is very, very strong. We see Wasner close in ever so slightly. No defense being thrown from Fry just yet. We can see them. There it is. There's the move towards the right-hand side, and he can't move anywhere else. Now he has to stay on that inside line. And he will stay ahead for now. The toe being broken and Wasner having to stay behind. Small contact has been noted. It looks like Kren also went to the inside line to defend from Bucher. Florenz following quite closely, and these 3 will have to fight for something a little bit further on. Sector 3 has been started, and it's Wasner trying to go around the outside of Fry, but there's no space to go in these long winded corners, and the top 3 are clear from Kren in 4th place. And a hectic start here for our top runners, and it's still a fight going on for position number 1. One more turn on the first lap, and Wasner will be looking for an opportunity here in the end of this straight. Fry holding on to it. Shins and Modica fighting for that 8th place. Prol and Rayman fighting for 10th. I believe Shins started in 8th as well. He's going to keep that, and Fry It's going to have the company of Wasner once again for turn number 1. Can Wasner make it around the outside this time? Is deep on the brakes once again, but Fry, that inside line, a bit too strong. And Florence behind, trying to take the outside line. Side by side with Wasner, gets a little tap, gets pushed wide. And that's Wasner slowing down. But it looks like Florence is through, and Kren now the next position to gain. We'll have the inside line once again, but it looks like Wasner just got a bit more grip on that. That's a tap on the rear, and that's Kren around. Bucher through, everyone through, and Kren trying to make the most out of this this recovery, trying to get back to the track as fast as he can. And it looks like Bucher has taken this 3rd place away, and Wasner down to 4th. Torgerson right on the rear. Now it's only eyes to Florence. Eyes up front to Fry, who now has a different LFME sports car behind him. And look at the gains on that car. You can't see the diffuser anymore. It's onto the side for Michael Fry, and it's Florence now with the outside line. Toe has been broken, no slipstream, just pure speed now. And that is the duck behind for Fry, trying to get a little bit more speed. See if he can do anything through this right-hander. He can't. And it's lap number 2 in the hands of Max Florence. The number 1 car retaking position 1. And Wasner having to fight for his life behind Bucher. These two now clear 2 seconds of the rest of the pack. And that is 1 start to the race. Florence taking away the lead that Wasner could not take. The contact between Wasner and Kren will be probably studied by the stewards after the race. Kren now down to 17th place, up for a recovery drive at Paul Ricard. So the first 2 laps quite hectic. Florence will be taking off that number 2. And looking at the weather, we have some rain, as we can see on the screen. We should have a little bit of wiper action coming in quite soon, but it's only light rain. There we have it. Fry taking the wipers on. And it's light rain for the next few minutes. Track has gone from optimum to fast. The temperature will be dropping ever so slightly, but we will get into the drier section a little bit later on. Greasy is what the condition is at the moment. Fastest lap is in the hands of Bucher, and will probably hold that for the rest of this stint. Now we're waiting for the cars to make mistakes. Now we're waiting for the slippery bits to happen. Now we are waiting for the attack. There's a 4-way fight here for 8th place with Shins, Rainman, Prol, and Radstrom will be cooking in with that in just a moment. We should probably have some eyes out in front with Fry and Wasner, as Fry is getting close to Florence. Wasner is getting close to Bucher. We'll have these 2 fights in our sights. It's going to be a slippery right-hander now. The track is greasy, not optimal for the wets just yet. I don't think they're going for it, seeing the forecast. Now it's all about feathering the brakes, feathering the throttle, and Fry is up to it very, very well. It's going to be another inside line being looked for Fry, and he's just way more in control of that Porsche compared to Florence, and that is a position taken by Michael Fry. The race lead back into the hands of the number 3 car. We're up a place, and Wasner is up as well. Florence dropped down to 2nd, Bucher down to 4th. It's just a bit of control in these conditions. Shins is not having any of this either, as Pro has passed him. Now Radstrom is going through as well. It's Shins down from 9th to 11th. Radstrom will have a little bit of a better line going into this turn, and Wiedbeck joining this fight for 10th, and Pro now in 9th, having a smaller gap behind than he does in front. Shins puts in a little visiting card for Radstrom, and it looks like Prol is slowing down from the looks of it. See where we can find him. He is slowing down massively. Not sure if there's a problem or if he's had just an incident. See if we can get a quick replay of that one on the last 30 seconds, so we can find what happened to him. This is the final sector. Look at the green car. As the car from Prol. See if anything happens here on the rear. That's a small moment. And he's off the track, back onto it, and slow to leave the off-track area. And that, of course, is going to cost you a little bit of time going to the straight. There it is. He's losing more and more time. Currently down to 13th place. But he is fighting with the rest of the grid already back again. So pro in 13th, Kren is right behind him, and we have Modica who's gone up to 6th place. This is going very, very well, but Torgerson is on the move. Here we see him. I was going to say the Porsche right behind, but these are all Porsches once again. Keep messing this all up. Torgerson not in the slipstream enough to do anything. Modica able to go back towards the racing line and take away the lead in this fight for 6th place. Fry losing it on the dry, regaining it on the wet. Hasn't really got too much of a gap going just yet. Wasner does, about a 1.5 seconds ahead of Bucher. It's now become a 3-way fight again for the lead of the race. A few tenths between every single car in that top 3. As Florence drop back. Ooh, that's a little bit of a wiggle there from Lesnoy as the cars are losing control on this damp track. The rain's still falling, the conditions worsening, and it's all just a matter of time before someone makes a big mistake. That's gross, and there it is. I wasn't gonna commentators curse this, but that's gross, having a big tap to Lesnoy. And Lesnoy being able to recover to the track, but it looks like Gross, he has recovered as well, but he's lost a few more positions, down to 24th. He's now down 3 spots from where he started. And not happy with that contact, of course. And no one would be with the tap in this weather. It's already difficult to control as is. And Fry not only has the weather playing against him, it's the pressure from 2 cars as well. Wasner was 2nd place in the start, currently 3rd. Florence in 3rd, now 2nd. And Fry still holding on to the lead. But for how long can he? These conditions are getting a tiny bit worse and worse. We see lots of wiggles there from Florence. It's now a 3-way fight for 1st place. Small contact between the 2 cars, probably just a few nudges. All fair play. See Ryman go down the order. Was checking with them a little bit later. Fry is taking the inside line, forcing Florence to go towards the outside. They are side by side. The timing tower says Florence is passed, but I don't think Fry's going to give it that easily. He is, because there's nothing he can do against the pace of a slipstream. They just have to keep it between the lines, and that is very squirrely from Florence. Going to dive instantly to the inside line. No way for Fry to attack, but there is, because that's Florence washing wide, and Fry having the control of the pedals just a tiny bit better, is in the fight for this lead. Once again, a small slide going to send Florence around, and that's a tap towards the side and the rear, and Fry goes through, but Florence is stationary on the side. Very mad at this one. Maybe a stalled the car. He's now trying to get his way back onto the racing line, but Fry taking the lead away from Florence, and Bucher now into this fight for the podium. And this is going to be one for the stewards, and it can be anyone's game at this point. No, Fry had to take the points away from Caracas. Florence had to take the points away. The Giraud, who isn't here either, has to take the points away. And then it's Kren, who's been falling down as well, now up to 11th place, has regained some of those spots. Now got the overtake done on Shins, who is not done with it just yet. We'll look at towards the outside. Hornstein flashing, Prohl just up ahead. But he's looking at this fight. Front row seats to a battle for 11th place. Kren just slightly past Shins, and there is a little bit of contact noted between Kren and another car. Supposedly that would be Shins. Just braked a little bit earlier into this corner. Rancagno slower as well. See if we can catch that action here on the replay. So that's Rancagno going slowly. That might have just happened right outside of you. That's Rancagno going off the track a tiny bit. We're dropping back to 6th place. Back up to the front though. It's another view here. Wasner, looks like Fry's got a little incident there on the straight, or a little bit in that corner on the start of the straight. He's just lost a bit of pace, and Wasner now on through. If Fry's quick, he's going to be ducking into that slipstream, trying to regain the speed to retake the place that Wasner is holding at the moment. So they're approaching the long right hand there, but the gap's just a little bit too big for him to send it anywhere. It's not that big of a braking zone. It's a small tap and a downshift, as we do have a cloudy sky without any rain. Ooh, a small look there towards the inside, forcing Wasner to make quick reactions, and that might have just upset the car a little bit off the balance. And Fry taking advantage of that, going towards the inside, sliding a tiny bit. Same goes for Wasner. They're doing both the same thing. Fry trying to send it around the outside. Unsure if anyone's got the wet setup on this one, but Fry being pushed wide, going off the track there. Still has a small wheel alongside, and that's lost. Wasner up to first place. Fry, and every single moment he's pushing, and he's putting his nose into spots where Wasner does not want to see the nose of that Porsche coming on through. Florence has made his way back up to 6th place. Now fighting with Radstrom and Torgerson. It's got Rancagno ahead. The Garda went slowly on the previous lap. We'll check in with them in just a moment. Just want to make sure that there's no change for the lead while we're gone. It doesn't look like anything's happening, but Florence now very, very close to Rancagno. Has to be careful because one mistake on the brakes means that he's losing it to Torgerson and Radstrom and Wiedbeck all in one go. Fight for 14th, breaking open with Proll and Rides being on each other's bumpers. The closest fights that we're having at the moment for 21st, for 16th, 14th, for 8th, and also for the lead of the race. Bucher isn't too far off, still within the second. It's going to be a good fight here on the straight for the top runners. Fry is what we're looking at. Still damp on the track. Wasner claiming the right-hand side of the track. Fry having to go towards the outside for the corner. Doesn't have the speed, doesn't have the straight line. We'll duck in back to the slipstream. Bucher just in the back there, not caring about anything that's happening out in front. And Fry hasn't gone all the way back out. He will take the inside line through the right-hander. Wasner going a little bit wide over the curbs. That's going to be a bit unsettling to go over when they're wet. And Fry holding the inside line for the next turn. Very beautifully done. A combination of moves from Fry. It's not the up and under that we would have seen, but in these conditions, it's the best that we can get. Fry back to the lead of the race, and it's going to be like this. A fight for the rest of the race. That's a small tap. Wasner misjudging a braking point. And Bucher now back in the fight for that second place, and Fry able to take away with this small little bump draft, as we like to see in the NASCAR series. But these are Porsches. We usually don't want any of that. Wasner, just a small tap to the front, gives Fry a small advantage to get a place. Spig is now fighting with Rainman, who's just seemingly dropped down. Maybe there's a small incident to look at there. See if we can get the side-by-side action. Oh, there was a small tap. That's Biggest next to Rainman, who's just lost it a tiny moment there, or lost a little bit of time down to 16th place. Of course, this rubbing is going to be going on for the rest of the race, as we see the number 12 car of Proll all the way back. The number 12 car has had some issues. It's been a yellow flag noted, not an accident, or it has been. One more yellow flag replay for us to take a quick look at. This is Proll. He's going slowly across the barriers. He's gone back onto the track, and that doesn't look very good for a car. That looks very mighty wrong for a car. He's just gone straight, and there's a barrier right there. There it is. And he's just been cruising past and back onto the track. That's Proll, who has been going out of the race now. So Proll out. Might be a little bit of a disconnect, as we are looking at Sasha Wasner once again trying to retake the lead. There's some fighting here as well for Radstrom and Torgerson. Torgerson just taking away that spot, and that's up to P7. A bit further back, we have another fight. We just see them in the rear. Rademacher and Hornstein as well with Shins now. And the number 9 car has the inside line and will take 12th place back. Shin's now dropping down the order. Some lights being flashed. Maybe happiness, maybe frustration, maybe just excited that he's finally passed. And he will hold that position for now. Shin's quite close. Let's see what he's seeing. Let's see what he's doing with the wheel, because this is one of the things that you're always looking at when you're racing. Looking at how the drivers are reacting to the condition. And that's Hornstein off. Green car recovering on the track. You can hear it on the right hand side, and the position being taken by Shins, aggressively blocked off, means that he is losing his look on the braking zone. Is going to be going back onto the track. And that's going to be a fight here for 12th, as Rides is in the mirrors of the number 9 car. That's a big break there for Hornstein, who's just taken the place from Shins out of nowhere by surprise. Now Shins has got some company behind him. That's right. Wanting to take a place and now has got the other car in front of him. That's going to be interesting to see. See who takes that place away. Wasner still furiously wiping the windscreen. Unsure if that's completely needed with his damn track as it stands. But only a few tenths behind Fry, and it's getting closer and closer. Fry warranted to go for a defense. And will that be a move to the inside further? Fry wanted to go back, but I believe Wasner didn't allow him that. And a small tap, another small tap to the rear there. And contact between the front runners is not something that we've seen very, very often in this at this magnitude. Track has gone back to greasy, meaning that the crossover point has been reached. The pressure should be going up just a little bit more. We've seen 2 minute 5.8, 2 minute 4.8, 2 minute 2.0, meaning that the lap times are only going to go quicker, quicker from this point. Rayman now has Schmeigelt in his mirrors, who has just gone through. We see the number 6 car go very, very squirrely there on the long right-hander. It's of course a sign of the tires not working the way that the drivers want to. Taking a bit wider line. That makes Fit a perfect fit for an overtake. It's going to be close between these two for P17. Still a good amount of points. That's the fun thing about LFM. You're never really out of anything. A few races still to go. 3 complete races to go. We're going to take a look at the schedule in a bit as well. Once we're going through the results and in between the sessions, should be able to have a look at that. Fit, not thinking that's a great fit to go into turn number 1. It's got has got the space but not the speed. Kren now through on feedback. That is going to be an interesting replay to see. See if we can catch that one off the back. So feedback here on the left hand side of the screen has braked a little bit earlier, and that's Kren just straight on through. I thought that was going to be a fight of some sorts, but that just looks like Kren has gone on a recovery drive of his life. Only down 5 places from where he started. He hasn't really let up on anyone. And feedback torn between overtaking and getting overtaken. Looks like he has to take the inside line regardless of what happens. He will be slightly side by side with Kren, but it looks like he has the position still. But around the outside goes Kren, and that means going to lose the position. A little bit further up, you see Radstrom and Torgerson fight. Kren now retaking the position on the inside of Rademachen. Another one on the inside, a bit wide, has to brake a little bit further. And almost contact between these two. But Rademachen going on through. Bit deep once again here. That is a good switch towards the line, and that's going on through. More fights here in the middle of the pack. Strange corners make strange timings. We see Schmiegold and Biggest now fighting. And they have Hoffman, Fit, and Rainman. Now this is a 5-way fight for P15. It looks like Rainman is joining and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I counting wrong? I thought there were 6 cars in the view. There it is. That looks to be Peterson who's joining in this fight. So it's now going to be a 6-way fight for P15. Schmiegold holding on to that position. And currently looking at Biggest and Hoffman. Hoffman looking towards the inside. The braking zone proving a bit too difficult for him to judge. And that is the same for Biggest, who goes a little bit wide, a little bit squirrely from both of these cars. And Fit having to brake, Hoffman having, Rayman having to brake, everyone just stopping and making sure they don't hit any other cars, because one penalty can mean the difference between P15 and the back of the grid at the moment. It's so close between everyone that you can't really count anyone out. And speaking of close, this is the fight for the lead. Michael Fry on the left-hand side of the screen. Wasner trying to go around the outside. We have seen the outside work. We have seen the inside work. Which one will it be right now? It looks to be still side by side. Fry with a small advantage going into this right-hander. The track is a little bit grippier towards this final 10 minutes of the race. The sun is out, and we are looking at Fry in the race lead. And Wasner in second place still. Bucher just over 2 seconds behind. Florence has lost some time as well. Currently in fourth place, 2.5 seconds behind Bucher. Rancagno 2.5 seconds behind that. Some more fights going on for 7th place. Still this one for the lead. The tightest and the most exciting one for the amount of points. Radstrom is chasing down Torgerson. That will be for 7th place. We've got this fight here, which was a 6-way fight for 15th. Now has broken up a little bit. That's Fit being overtaken here by Rainman, who sent it on the inside. That's a clean overtake from the number 6. Very nicely done from Rainman. There seems to be a small contact between Shins and Hornstein. Was dropping back. And is now fighting with Schmiegel. See if we can get a small look at what happened to the number 9 car in terms of contact after this turn 1. We're going to see what happens here. Looks like Hornstein's staying behind, so we can get a quick look at the replay. So Hornstein here in the yellow, in the green car, and that's Shins in the yellow car. It showed contact for a moment. That Shins going down a little bit. Now, that's missing his braking point, going onto the inside. Shins going sideways slightly, and Hornstein taking the brunt of that force and dropping down, losing not 1 place but a 2nd one in these final stages of the race. Hornstein now behind Rides as we have 3 laps remaining after completing this lap. And it's a look for Rides where he's going to put the car, and looking for Hornstein where the opening is. Currently still on the inside. Rides is not showing his hands just yet, staying in the middle of the track, will stay there, and Hornstein now has the inside line, will hold that. This is a beautiful shot from both of these cars. That's Rides just trailing off, letting Hornstein through. So maybe he's seen the incident up in front, and maybe he thinks that Hornstein can get Shin still and fight once again for that position, or he just doesn't want to risk it going into the long right-hander on these greasy conditions, which both I fully understand. Fight now here for 7th place, as we also see a fight for some more positions breaking out. There's contact between the number 10 and the number 24. See if we can get a replay of that. This is on the long right-hander. Peterson in the number 10 car is what we're looking at. It's going for the right-hander. Some cars going off, and joining on the track. Is there going to be more contact? There it is, trying to weave away from what we saw, and nice saves from both of these drivers from something of a rejoin that we did not expect to see. Radstrom going into the pits. That must have been a drive-through penalty for track limits. We'll take that. Approaching the final few minutes, and all these drivers getting 1 spot for free, 1 place that they can take home, and a few more points in the pocket. The Grunt now in 25th, right behind Hodap in 24th. Will be 23rd after Radstrom is out. Will not be 23rd because Radstrom is out a little bit too far ahead of him. The track conditions improving, and Wasner trying to make the most out of it. Once again, a fight for the lead of the race. Wasner in second, Fry in first, and still the number 3 car holds on to the lead. And Wasner, no way to put his car anywhere that he wants to. Fry's taking up all the space. He's first out on track, and that means he gets the choice of where to park his car, and he's taking it in all the right places. And Wasner, no room to move anywhere. 2 more laps for him to look for space and look for an opportunity that Fry will most definitely not hand to him for free. It's going to be a fight against the clock. 2 laps around Paul Ricard, never easy, but he's got 2 chances into the long right-hander on the back of the long straight, but that exit has to come all the way from the start of Sector 2 and the end of Sector 1, so your combination in Sector 1 has to be clean, it has to be absolutely perfect. Let's go 1 lap on board with Sasha Wasner. It's not qualifying, but this will be the tightest that we've seen them. Wasner running into turn 1 now. A second gap. That's not the tightest we've seen them. We have seen closer. Fry taking it a little bit easier. Wasner going every single place that he can, using a little bit more of the track than what Fry is doing at the moment. Taking a bit more risk on the entry of turn number 1. He's going to hold the foot down all the way to the end. He's going to take a bit more space here as well. Some more curves being taken. Fry just making sure that he can take every single bit of the corner as cleanly as he can, without burning too much of the tires, and Wasner knows that he's got some time to make up. You see him wiggling that steering wheel through these corners. He's absolutely struggling with the greasy track conditions. There it is, almost oversteering off the track, but keeping it within the limits, and that's too far off to do anything of the sorts. But there's still a fight for the podium positions. This is the view that we wanted. This is Florence on Bucher, currently the number 1 car in 4th place, Bucher in 3rd. And 6th gear absolutely maxed out here on the straight. The slipstream, the only thing that's helping him. There's a small space on the inside. Bucher reacting to that. Unsure if that's completely legal, but Bucher holding on to the inside line. And Florence not happy with that late reactive move. There was a space. He tried to go for it. It was blocked off. And Bucher with a strong defense, making sure that he keeps that 3rd place spot on that podium for this lap. 1 more lap to defend, and that will have to be his. Kren defending now from Rademacher as well in 8th place. And he's trying to attack Torgerson. There's Rademacher. Rademacher and Kren now fighting in the wheel for some grip. Just losing some time to Torgerson. In 7th place. Still a good place to finish. He's currently 5th in the standings. Going to lose his place to Bucher. The gap was 22 points. And that definitely is the gap between 3rd and 3rd and 8th on the finishing tower. Florence close to Bucher once again. Wasner nowhere close at the moment. A little bit closer than he was on the previous lap, but still not as close as Florence is to Bucher. So the fight for 3rd will go on a tiny bit closer than the fight for 1st place. Fry holding on to that place. Looks like he will be for the rest of the lap. Granted, he makes no mistakes in this final sector. Florence having a good look at Bucher, and Bucher probably having a good look at Florence. This mirrors will be full with the front of that Porsche, looking for a spot on the podium. And Eurobeat intensifies, but Bucher will have Florence intensifies in his mirrors, in his ears, and everywhere that he can hear. Florence on the outside, Bucher quick towards the inside this time around. He's blocked it off a little bit earlier, but that's going to be a track position slightly for Florence, who's got the overspeed, and Bucher no way to pass back, and that's going to be for the final lap. Florence passed up to P3. That will be on the final few corners, trying to take it away from him once again. There's no way Florence is going to give this one back that easily. The number 1 car holding on to that 3rd place. The number 4 car being sent down to 4th. We're looking up front at our race leader. We're looking up front at our 2nd place. It's currently Fry in 1st, Wasner in 2nd. 1 more turn to go after this one, and Fry making sure he gets the most out of it. Michael Fry, the number 3 car, from pole to finish. It wasn't easy. It hasn't been easy with these conditions. Optimum as they cross the line, and optimum points for Michael Fry. The number 3 car taking home the victory at Paul Ricard, week number 9 for the PTT Racing Porsche Carrera Cup. Wasner coming in 2nd place, Florence in 3rd. Bucher takes home a nasty 4th with a very late loss of podium position. Rancagno in 5th, Modica in 6th, and you can see the tower complete on the left hand side of your screen. But your race winner, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Fry. Number 3 car doing a tremendous job, losing some time on the dry bit with these 2 LFM cars behind him fighting, but regaining it in the wet in an absolute masterclass of defense. for the final results. We'll have to wait a few more moments as the rest of the grid is just slotting in. We see some more contact actually between some of the drivers. Between the number 27 and the number 20, there has been some contact. See if we can catch that on the back before we head on to anything. There's a small tap. And there should be one more coming up. Just a moment. And these two currently fighting for the last bits of positions. See if there's anything more in this one. Oh, there's a big more tap. And yep, that's a lot of contact for the final stages of the race. That was gross, having some taps with some cars around him. Fastest lap goes to Booker in fourth place. So that's at least one positive to take away from this from the back stages of this event. Let's see if we can get some interviews going with these drivers as well. Go on and hop on back to the studio, see if we can get anyone in the voice chat to give us a little sign of life, give us a little insight on the race, and see what this was all about. The power of these cars is, what the restrictions of the cars are, and of course what is happening between all of these drivers. So race 1 for today completed. Season 20 round 9 at Paul Ricard for the PTT Racing Porsche Carrera Cup. Looking at the interview room, it is pretty empty. Looks to be pretty empty still, which means that we'll have to wait a moment, see if anyone comes in. The results should be up once the server closes. Could be a moment or two. And meanwhile, we're still waiting for the interviews to come in. Maybe we want to talk with Fry, maybe we want to talk with Wasner, maybe with Florence. The server is technically still up, which means the results won't be solidified just yet. Have to wait just a little bit more. As we're waiting, we might as well head it over for this to the schedule for a moment. There we have it. This is the schedule for the Porsche Carrera Cup by PTT Racing. Currently in week number 9, the 4th of December, Paul Ricard, a 30-minute race. Next week we have Brands Hatch, and then we have Imola, followed by a small break for Christmas. And the week after we have the Nordschleife moved over to, I believe, the Saturday from the Thursday because of New Year's. Because otherwise we'd have a New Year's stream. Not everyone wants to do New Year's after staying up longer than 24 hours for celebrating the New Year, which means that we have a week and a little bit of a break for the final race at the Nordschleife. So Paul Ricard currently done. Next week Brands Hatch, and then over to Imola. And as we're moving on from the P-Cup series, we're heading on to the main event, the Season 20 Round 9 Pro Series, currently at Suzuka, then being followed up by the Hungaroring, and then Paul Ricard as well in week 11. Then, of course, that week break as well, with Monza being our final event in week 13. The Pro Series being shown on the left-hand side completely. There's no one here for the interviews, which means that I'll be a little bit lonely here in the commentary booth. We have a few minutes to spare, and we should probably make the most out of those. So we'll go back to the studio, and I believe I can run a few minutes of a break before the server goes live. We should have a bit of a practice run before we go into the qualifying for the Pro Series. But before that, we're gonna head over to the results, see if they have come in yet for the Cup. They have not yet, which means that we're gonna wait for a moment before they head on in. So they should just take a few more moments, and the servers are refreshing, the servers are going back live. There is a practice of about 10 minutes, which means we're gonna run it to the ad break, or to the trailer break and the waiting break in just a few moments. I just want to make sure that we get the server stuff all right. It hasn't closed yet. It should around now. which means that we can go over. Actually, we can go take a look at the standings. And these are the standings before we head on to this this round with 8 weeks counted. The only driver to do 8 weeks, not the only driver, but almost the only driver to do 8 weeks. Carrera in first place, Fry in second, Florence in third. Let's see what the standings for today, or the race for today, has changed. Grab a little mental note of this of these standings to see what has changed coming from week 8 to week number 9. So find your favorite driver and see where they are at. Mainly the front runners. Caracas not present, Giraud not present, Santama not present, Lenz not present. So those are 4 drivers in the top 10 that will probably lose a few positions going into the next race. Let's see if we can catch some drivers here. Rademacher currently in 58th. 1 race counted. Will have 1 more to his name after today. Biggest as well. NP47 in the standings. 2 races done. This will be number 3. Constantly just refreshing to see if the server has gone down and the numbers have updated on the results, because that's of course what we want to see. Might just take a while, so I think we're gonna send this one to the break, and we'll retake this all with a new look after we've gone for the break. So don't go anywhere besides grabbing a little snack for the next 10 minutes. We'll be back with some more racing for the Case Game Pro Series at Suzuka after a short little break. So grab some snacks, grab some water, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes. And we're back with the action, almost ready to go into the qualifying action of the King Pro Series. But first, I want to hop it quickly over to the result of the PTT Racing Porsche Cup, and they haven't really been solidified yet. That means that we are going to the result of the Pro Series instead. And these were from last week. Carrera getting the victory, and Carrera getting the victory in race number 1. Bellic splitting the two on the podium for the feature race. And currently Bellic just sliding into the top 10, ever so slowly getting there, and now sit at P9. That's the standings that we're going to look at in just a moment. Michael Fry here in 14th place, the driver that we saw fight for the victory just now in the Porsche Cup. And that means that we get to see Fry maybe get into P1 after the standings have been updated. We're going to go and take a look at that after this race. If we get the time, should have that all done. And that's it for the results of the Pro Series. Now for the standings, this is going to be, I was going to say, a big fight. That's what we saw before going on to the Porsche Cup Series. Carrera out in first place with 3 sprint race victories and 2 feature race victories. Carrera in second with 2 sprint race victories and 4 feature race victories. But the consistency of Carrera just a little bit better. Del Fonte winning 1 race each, and the rest of these drivers not really getting any of the victories, as the only victory that's been outside of the top 3 is from Sasha Vosner in race number 1 a little bit earlier on in the season. I'm going to see quite plenty of these drivers on the grid for today. We have in total 49 drivers signed up. So that's a lot of cars going on the track. Might have to apologize for the smoothness of the broadcast. Might just drip a little bit because the software that we're using is a little bit laggy already, and it's just checking all the data, and my CPU isn't what it used to be. After all this, we should go back to live because qualifying is underway. And there it is. It's a little bit choppy, but the track is quite full on the right-hand side of your screen. You can almost not see the layout of the Suzuka track anymore. The qualifying has started. We have gone some laps in. Currently, Bucher out in first. This is not the checkered flag. That's not what it is. This is not checkered flag just yet. We are still qualifying for another just over 10 minutes, with Bucher being dropped down as Del Fonte takes P1, a name that we haven't seen earlier today, and now we get to see a little bit more today. Del Fonte dropping it in first place for now. Max in second, Bucher down to third place. Fry does not have a good lap time on the board. 10 minutes in now, the drivers have just set their first time laps. So we're just in time to see those pop up on the board. All the times that you're seeing below P number 14 are all lap times that were set before the first time lap. That means that they will not count in the P15. P16 now is all good as Bellic gets into P number 6. And that's quite a good lap time, so don't worry about the checkered flags on the left-hand side. Those are all just for show. That probably shows that we are done with the... That shows that we're done with the Porsche Cup. That's it. It shows that we are just getting started with the King Pro Series. Del Fonte chasing down some of that lap time now. He has got that provisional pole position by about 2/10. Got a few more laps to go. This is the full speed that we're looking at. Porsche Cups are a little bit slower than the GT3s that we're looking at, but Del Fonte's got some traffic ahead of him, meaning that he'll have to slow down between this and his purple Delta that he's been looking at for the entirety of this lap. Has been depleted a tiny bit. A few thousandths faster is Del Fonte going onto the back straight. Just one more chicane after this corner. If he can keep it within the lines, he can just barely keep it within the lines. One more chicane to go. He's got a car right in front of him, and this is where he loses all of his time. And this is where it's over. But more time gained suddenly in this final little bit. Bucher putting it on provisional pole. Van der Meer in second, but Del Fonte striking back with half a second gain on this lap. And there it is, a 57.877 for Del Fonte in first. Gonna drop back and get a new set of tires fixed to his car. And let's see what everyone else can do. Washi up from 10th place to 8th with a good improvement. Bellic being dropped down to 9th. He's got quite new some new colors on this car from the looks of it, and he is currently with the number 11 car in 9th place will be looking for a top 10 start. Is on a very, very good delta here. Might even drop it in 2nd place, mind you. The number 11 car coming across the line from 9th place. That will be 2nd place for Bellic. 3.5 tenths behind Del Fonte, 2 tenths clear of Bucher, 1.5 tenths clear from Bucher, trying to park it to the side as one of the cars is leaving the pit lane as it stands. Some more cars on good improvement. Let's go back. Gorlick in 21st place. Having a good look at some improvements here in the middle part of the track. It's going to move him up a few places if he crosses the line like this. His delta has gone down again, so Matters just lost it on the exit of the infamous spoon corner. It's being dropped down to 23rd. As the time goes on and the track is getting busier and busier. There it is. There's a lap time, but it's not going to be a fast one. That means that he has backed out of that one, and the lap time doesn't count fully. Kornig in the 22 car, or in the 28 car, currently in 23rd. BMW now coming across the left-hander, making his way up. There's a yellow flag that's been cleared quite quickly, and there's a big gap behind now towards the next car. It's going to be the number 13 car trying to finish up a lap. It's Sav in 19th. Kornig now having a good improvement under his belt. Van Rossum is just up ahead, and he has jumped to 15th, and Kornig has jumped to 18th. So both these drivers having some improvements to their name. Let's see, Sav now across the line. Doesn't get a big improvement, only gets 1 position. The number 13 car definitely not happy with P20 as a starting position. Wasner, we saw fight for the quite some good positions in the Porsche Cup just now. Currently driving the opposite of a Porsche, and that is a Bentley. In my mind, those two are the complete opposites of cars. The Porsche is a nimble mosquito, and the Bentley is a big-ass boat. The number 3 car currently in 6th. Not too far off pole position, about 6 tenths. It's going to take the shorter line back down the straight. Del Fonte out now for another time the lap. Just crossed the line. I will check in with him as we go. He's dancing around the purple for now. Just crossing turn number 1. Wasner throwing it over these curbs as the boat can do. The Bentley can do. Currently in 6th. A little bit of an improvement on the time. Will it be an improvement on position? Currently in 6th. Small little meters to the line. And that will be another P6. It's an improvement, but 3 thousandths away from P number 5. And that is unfortunate stuff for Sasha Wasner. And Del Fonte heating up the tires. Same for Bellic, who is currently in 3rd. It's got a great run, actually, this season. I saw him with Silverstone last. That was about 3 weeks ago, and he was fighting inside the top 10, but not really showing too much of the pace. And currently he's just fighting with the top guys, so it's absolutely crazy of the improvement that he has. Might be one of the future race winners that we're looking at it. Caracas not present in the Porsche Cup today. Don't think he's present in the oh, he is present, actually. He is present, very much so. In 2nd place now is Caracas. There he is. Missed out on the Porsche Cup. We'll have to ask about that in after the race, of course. And it looks like Caracas is going to be setting up for a good lap here. Del Fonte dropping back a little bit on his lap time. He's got the chicane to go. Maybe he can make up some time there. There seems to be cars parked all across the track. Caracas only 2.5 tenths away from that provisional pole position, but Del Fonte, being one of the main contenders, taking that pole position away would be very, very big for him. Trying to go a little bit more slowly for this entry. And I'm just quickly scrolling through the list of entries here. 49 cars. It looks like Castorino is not here. Castorino is not in the list of drivers in the top 20, and he's not behind either. So it's a trend today, the championship leaders not being present on the races that they really have to perform. because we are going into the final stretch of the season. It's round 9, 3 rounds to go, and Carrera's not showing up for the Porsche Cup. Castorino not showing up for the Pro Series. That's going to be quite a problem, if I do say so myself. Del Fonte, a little bit of a curb being taken there, and some grass being kicked up, some sand being kicked up. He has gone across the line, so that's not going to be a lap time for him to repeat. And we're looking at Grantas Carrera, our P2 sitter at the moment, needs to be ahead of Del Fonte to be able to keep that second place in the championship standings, and maybe even take away P1 from Castorino. That's what we saw with the Porsche Cup as well. Fry taking the victory and probably gaining the lead of the championship. Carrera obviously wants to have one championship to his name at all times. As he's slowing down the final corner, he's got one more run this lap and then another lap. He has a car behind him who was probably not going to be too happy with that slowdown. The car behind him being Van Rossum, currently in 17th. Knows that he's a bit slower, can take away a little bit of a space in front of him. Looking at the lap time, Van Rossum at 1:59. Carrera at 1:58. There's a full second of pace between them on the lap, which means that the gap should increase a tiny bit. But Van Rossum taking away the odd slipstream here and there on the shorter runs across the track. Definitely going to be happy to take that one away. Maybe get a few more seconds, few more tenths of the time. I love this camera angle, by the way. That's why I'm running it throughout the qualifying quite a bit. I'm going to see it once more here with Del Fonte as he's making his way through the first part of the track. There he is. The number 2 Honda has pole position, dancing around his Delta. Same goes for Carrera, who hasn't really been showing too strongly. I mean, he has been showing strongly, but just hasn't been shown too prominently. He hasn't made any massive jumps here in terms of the Delta. And he needs 2.5 tenths to even match Del Fonte. As Max goes up to 8th place, getting a position over Lindblom and Kolbath. Carrera's needing 2.5 tenths, but Del Fonte currently fighting for another fast lap time. It's not purple, but he's up on his time, and purple is in the hands of Anola. Anola currently in 37th, has a 2-minute lap time. Says that he's improving by about 15 seconds, which is quite odd from the looks of it. But the number 25 car is looking to be purple until proven otherwise. So Carrera's on an improvement lap, takes the absolute most out of the chicane. Bellic a little bit further behind is on a faster lap too. Carrera gaining a little bit of time, is going to set himself up properly for another lap. And that is provisional pole by 0.07 of a second. And never mind that, because Del Fonte is going to come over that with even more lap time gain. But this is going to be Del Fonte's final lap time. This checkered flag is real. Del Fonte taking pole position provisionally with a 1:57.585. Carrera trailing behind by about 3 tenths. Bellic now getting that odd slipstream from the car ahead. Tiny little bit of an advantage going into these final turns of the track. Purple hasn't been shown anywhere because it's currently in the hands of Anola. That's this car, the McLaren, a little bit further ahead of Bellic. Don't think that is the true purple. We might see, because it was 16 seconds of lap time gain on a 2-minute lap time. That means he would do a 1:44, and that's frankly quite impossible on this track. It's going to be a 1:59.9. That's going to put him in 31st. Bellic across the line is only in 3rd, quote unquote only. And Carrera and Del Fonte not putting in a lap time. It's just Mex who's gone off the track now as well. Wasner, who has gone off, so that's a lap time done. Fry has gone off. Fonch is able to improve a tiny bit. That's not going to put him on pole position, though. It's going to get him close, depending on what he can do in the final 2 corners. Looking mighty fine, though, from Fonch on this lap. From 11th place with a 1:58.632. Is going to come across the line with a slight slipstream there, and is going to move it up to 6th place with a 1:58.3. It's Sav now across the line as well with a small improvement, but not a position. Van Rossum He's got a few more corners to go. From 14th, will stay there most likely after he's completed these few turns. His delta's not showing anything too spectacularly. So that means that he'll probably stay where he is, currently in 14th place. And not an improvement by about a tenth and a half. And that means that your pole position is for Eric Del Fonte in first place, as we are getting ready for the grid and ready for race number 1 at Suzuka. We should, hopefully this time around, have our grid ready. With a little bit of luck, that's going to come through. It hasn't come through yet, which means that I am a little bit silly, because I expected it to be done instantly, and it needs a minute to update. And I keep forgetting to update the thingy, and yeah, I am making a few mistakes on that. Should probably have a few extra buttons for that somewhere on the press, but we are having to live with it for now. Eric De Fonte, good showing on the qualifying, currently third in the standings, about 200 points behind Carrera, who takes it in second place. You can see on the right hand side of the screen, currently on the left hand side of the track. So they're heading into turn 1, so De Fonte is going to have the inside line for this 20-minute sprint event. And then around the hour, we're going to have another 10-minute break for the switch of sessions. It used to go live around the 8-hour mark, the 9 p.m. European time, 8 p.m. UK time sharp. But because some of the events sometimes take a little bit longer, the server switch was a little bit too quick for the results to do anything. So we're doing it a little bit over for the drivers to have a little bit of a break. That does mean that we get to take a break alongside them. So for the grid, we should have it all updated now. Eric Del Fonte out in first. It is still not updated. I might just have something wrong in the setup there, which means that we'll have to once again do it ourselves. Eric Del Fonte out in first place, pole position for the Italian driver. He's going to be looking to take away the victory of this one and add one to his tally. Carrera in second place, looking to retake the championship lead. And he had that in week number 6 last time that I was here, with 2 wins in a short race and 3 wins on the long race. And Del Fonte was right behind Castorino in third. The gaps were quite substantial back then, so it's become a closer and closer fight as we went on. Kevin Bellick, starting in third, is going to have a chance on a podium in the number 11 Lamborghini. That's going to be a fun one to watch for this event. Elke van der Meer right alongside on row number 2 in the number 10 Honda. A very good qualifying for these two on that second row. Max in 5th with a very good lap later on. Foch as well with in a Ferrari. That's something that we haven't seen too much from the number 8 car. Booker in 7th. Had a good showing for the Porsche Carrera Cup. Now in 7th place for the start. Wasner as well with a very, very nice job on the Porsche race. Now starting in 8th place. Savaza in 9th, right behind. And Lindblom in 10th, rounding out our top 10. And because we have about 39 cars to go, I'm going to go through this a little bit quicker than we did with the Porsche Cup. So I'm just going to say the number 14 car from Cobalt starting in 11th. Michael Fry, our victor from the Porsche Cup, in number 6 car in 12th. Sav with the number 13 in 13th. Van Rossum dropped down to 14th place. And Washi into 15th for this qualifying session. Dre Scott in 16th. Penzes in 17th. Silverio right behind the number 15 car in 18th. The number 39 all the way up to 19th. That's Martinez in 19th position. And we have Resch rounding out our top 20. Going to Kornig in 21st. Lampe in 22nd. Rancagno in the number 19 car into 23rd. Here we have Pludeman in P24, and splitting the grid we have Habold in P25. Hall will be in P26. Mando in 27th. Kost in 28th. Panowski in 29th. And Rademacher in 30th place. Anola holding a miraculous 16-second improvement on this qualifying due to a tracking issue. In 31st, Swartz in 32nd. Luiken in 33rd, Brill in 34th, Gorlick in 35th, Nagy in 36th, Fusilla in 37th, Hofman in 38th, Kunin in 39th. The last 10 cars, Leshenko in 40th, Shugi in 41st, Gemot in 42nd, Peter in 43rd, Leverque in 44th, Silva in 45th, Wilkinson in 46th, Mayer in 47th, Kosebek in 48th, and Cornier in 49th. And that is everyone on this grid, as Eric Delphante is almost completed with sector number 1. It's a long track, a long formation lap, and luckily we got through it all quite cleanly. So, just as a quick little rundown, Eric Delphante currently the 3rd in the standings, taking pole position. Caracas currently 2nd in the standings, taking 2nd place. Bellic 9th in the standings, taking 3rd place. Van der Meer not even in the top 10, going on to 4th. Max, same story, into P5. Foch, as it stands, is 4th in the standings, and Wasner is in the top 10 as well. That should be P8 from the looks of it. Savaza in 10th. Lindblom is 6th in the standings. Fry is 5th. And then Castorino not showing up. Van Rossum in 12th place as well, is currently in 7th. So our top 10 is spread out into the 12 places, with Van der Meer and Max not being in that top 10. But they are in the top 10 in this in the qualifying session, so on the grid. And this is all going to make it a lot more interesting, because our leaders are just not here for the race. Once again, if you are just joining us for the Pro Series, we have some drop rounds in place, meaning that we can have some rounds not counted, which means your lowest 2 rounds of the seasons are not counted. And if that's a low scoring round and you now miss a race, you still get plenty of points going on to the next race. So the Castorino is not going to be guaranteed to lose his lead of the championship, but it is a strong possibility. Now, for this race, it's going to be very, very important that Delphante finishes, that Caracas finishes, and on a quite high position at that. The driver's now getting ready to line up in double file for the start of the race. They're all the way at the back of the spoon curve, now onto the chicane for our leaders of the race. Track conditions, forgot to touch on that in the previous race. It's optimum, 22 degrees on the air, 30 degrees Celsius on the track, and it is slightly cloudy. No rain inside here in Japan. Suzuka track, always a pleasure to watch and to race. The final moments now, as we're heading on to turn number 1. From the helicam, we can see Delphante on the right-hand side of your screen. Caracas right behind, Bellic in 3rd, and Van der Meer on the left-hand side. In the white car, the orange cars from Max, and then the red car from Foch. We can see who gets the run into turn 1 the best. It's currently Delphante quite far ahead of Caracas, but one false start or one bad start will send him all the way further back, and Caracas taking the lead. So it's only a matter of time before we hit the line. And we are green at Suzuka. Great start from Delphante. Instantly switching over to the left-hand side of the track, getting the best run that he can into turn number 1. Bellic with a strong break as well. Foch looked to be a little bit wide there, a little bit further back, and losing some ground. And he is currently on the outside, being pushed out. And that is Wasner coming on through. The Bentley taking the position away from Foch, dropping back to 7th now, fighting with Savaza, and who has got the company of Lindblom. They're all fighting it out, but Delphante taking the lead of the race so far, out of pole position. A great run to defend from Caracas. Good start all the way over to the left-hand side. Clean cut off, and no way for Caracas to go anywhere. Now it's just the train running through the underpass. It's beautiful to see all these cars lining up. No one going too wide, no one going too far. And one car going too far, actually, is the number 19 car. I believe we have lost one of our drivers, the number 19 car and the number 10 car. It's 2 cars. We've seen multiple cars. There should be some contact in some of these. I believe we have the number 19 car. So there's more and more contact coming in. 34, 45, and 19. See if we can get a yellow flag or contact from any one of these. 34 has cost yellow flag. 45. Was it number 45? It was the number 45. Let's check a quick replay on what happened. There's an accident with the number 45 car. So we can catch that on the replay. Yeah, this is a yellow flag with the number 45. Let's see what happens here at the grid. Oh, that's a lot of cars off already. Don't think we can get a whole bunch of that in the view. That's a lot of cars going off. Yeah, that's a little bit of a cluster and a fun time for the stewards to figure out what the hell went on there. As it stands, Delphante leading the pack at the end of lap number 1, Grant Scaricus in second, and Kevin Bellick in third, as they were. Not a single change between these drivers. We're going to see the position change in a few seconds, and that's when we can see what really happened a little bit further back. Lots of contact, and there it is. Wasner up 2. From the start of Foch wasn't too fantastic. Valsam up 3, Silverio up 4. Penz's lost a few. Habold is up a few 4 places as well. Looks like Hall in 22nd is up 1 more. Kornig is now up a place as well. So he's been traveling up the order, up 4 places where he started. Penz's and Lampa now fighting side by side into the S's of Sector 1. It's going to be an interesting fight. See who gets the upper hand in that. Pence is on the outside line with the Lamborghini is being pushed wide, and that is Lampa on through back to P19. Ferrari just a bit stronger in those corners, taking away the lead here for this fight in P19. Caracas and Delphante currently clear of Bellick in third, who's clear of Van der Meer. So more pushing a little bit further back. No one really has any space from the looks of it. Anola now has got the perfect sides actually from the car behind. Let's see if we can get a good side here from the 2 cars behind. That is Dre Scott and Brill currently fighting. Dre Scott on the inside line with the McLaren, and Brill right behind that. Who's got a visit from Gorlick. So these 4, I should say, I want to say only 4, but it's a lot more than 4. It's everyone fighting for the same position. Saf now going slowly through this turn, trying to make sure that he doesn't hit Kolbath ahead. That's what the white little triangles are for, showing that they're going a tiny bit slower than they should be going. And it's all indicating that the drivers are very, very close to each other. Same out in front, Delphante getting the fastest lap, but Caracas beating that by about half-tenth instantly after. And that's a good look there for Silverio, who doesn't go for it. Sav keeping his eyes clean out on the road. Fry going through on Lindblom though. That's supposed to be a spectacular overtake. See if we can catch the rear end of that. If we can still see what happened. Fry here in the replay function takes too long to load. Should have gone 30 seconds back. That doesn't matter. What matters is that Fry is now up to 9th place and Lindblom behind in 10th. And the more cars there are, the more long it's going to take for the replay function to actually work. So it might just not be worth it to do it later on in these races. Apologies for the lack of replays. Then it happens, and I'll have to upgrade the battle station somewhere soon. Resch now right behind Kornig in a fight for 17th place. Is everyone ahead of them more than a second, close to a second at least. From the gaps. This is the closest fight that we have inside of the front half of the grid, and we are looking at some movement. At least we're hoping for some movement. Not really seeing any of that too crazily so far. Lots of positions have been swapped. The fights have all been moved around a little bit. The gaps have been created. Resch now looking at the rear of Kornig. Behind him he's got Lampe, who's got Penzis right behind him as well. So that fight's still going on for 19th place. Penzis not giving up just yet. The green car trying to chase down the Max Verstappen livery. As Resch, so he's got this size to his car ahead. He's up 2. Kornig up 4. Wants to split that and make it about even, as Delphante puts some more time between him and Caracas. The lap times are very, very close. Carrera going across the line, just across the timing lines, not even. It's going to be the track limits for Carrera. He's got one little warning taken away from that lap. We just saw Koenig go all the way to the inside, trying to defend and make sure that Resch doesn't get too much of a tow up to the front. So that's going to be a tactic that they'll employ to make sure that the slipstream is utilized to its absolute minimum. The drivers behind have to struggle a bit more, a bit longer for a fight. The slipstream being taken to its best by Kolbath, who's chasing Van Rossum down. The McLaren trailing the Ferrari by just a few tenths. As we're heading towards the halfway mark of the race already. It's going to be about 10 laps in total. I think we can get an 11th lap in if we're lucky. The first lap didn't take too much longer than 2 minutes. So that means that we might get that 11th lap at the end of the race. So Kolbath has got some time now to catch up to Van Rossum and make sure that Sav behind him doesn't really do anything. And he might be able to survive this. Currently, we've got our eyes on a four-way battle where Lampe has made a small mistake going a little bit too deep into the spoon corner. The inside for Penzes in the green Lamborghini. He's got his sights on the inside, but the acceleration from Lampe just a bit quicker. The number 35 car able to get past cleanly. Moves back towards the outside. Penzes is looking for a space that's not there. Settles back onto the racing line and just has to settle for this P20 for now. Looks like he has the space, he has the pace, and well, he doesn't have the space. He has the pace, looking for a space that he's just simply not getting. Fight here for 5th place. It's Max going on through on the inside. Wasner in 6th. And it's a good move there for Max to go on through. And Wasner now has Fodge right behind him. It's a 3-way fight for 5th, but Max going away with it quite quickly. Salazar behind, trying to join this battle too, and it's now Wasner versus Fodge. Bentley versus Ferrari. It's the number 8 car that's chasing the number 3 car that's currently leading this fight. 6th place. A lot of points for these two drivers that are in the top 10. Fodge in 4th and Wasner in 8th. Both want these points. Salazar in 10th wants these points as well, because Bellic is ahead of him, and Bellic is currently scoring an outstanding amount of points for staying in this 3rd place. Van der Meer is dropping back. That's going to be a lot of points granted to Bellic. One thing that I haven't touched upon yet, which is quite fitting to do halfway through the race, is that we're getting a reverse grid for race number 2. That's always the case, and today's no different. We're going to get a reverse grid in race number 2. That means that the top 15, that's from Del Fonte all the way down to Washi, will be reversed in race number 2. This is the reason why we've had so many drivers take victory in race number 1, but not in race number 2. So Castorino and Caracas have taken the different victories, but it has happened that Caracas has just taken both of them home with him in one weekend. Same goes for Castorino. The top 15 will be reversed. So if you get 1st place here, you will be dropped back all the way to P15. And if you take P15 here, that means that you will get pole position for race number 2. A bit further back, Michael Fry is now looking towards the rear of Sabasa. He's not really looking towards the rear as much as he's alongside. But he is on the outside. And, oh, that's a good move. Sabasa a little bit deep into the apex of turn number 1. Which means that Fry's got the better line as he just done the switchback. And he will get the place now from Salazar. A big slide there from Fry, but he keeps control of the car. Salazar now has Lindblom right behind him. I'm going to go to the helicam to get a little bit more overview of what is going on between these drivers. It's a fight for 8th place. Salazar's losing out. Fry's gone to position and Lindblom backs off. It's still following through, going towards the underpass. And we can see Fodge right ahead, who's lost sight of Wasner, who is looking ahead at Max. So this fight has gone back up again. And speaking of losing sight, Fodge is back there again. So that's one braking zone away from being back into a fight. And Wasner now following Max ahead, trying to retake that P5. Doesn't look too great from where he's looking. Taking up all the space that he can. It's not too optimal. Going on to this this back straight. And the fight is for P5. Currently the furthest fight up ahead that we have. Delfante's gone about a second and a half clear from Carrera. Bellic is in 2 seconds clear ahead and 2 seconds clear behind. It's going to be doing a little bit of a lonely race. The number 24 car is currently stationary. As we have Hoffman and Gorlick with contact, the 21 and the 27. See if we can find out what happened between those two. There's been a contact. So see if we can get that going. So this is the replay with the number 27 and the, I believe that's the number 30. So this is Gorlick in the Ferrari. Going on to the right-hander. Going a little bit too far onto the side. That's a tap to the side, and that is a car spinning. Oh, that's number 21 car. Oh, it's gone off. And that is, of course, not something that you want to see. Van Rossum lost the place now. I was fighting with Kolbath. I believe Van Rossum was in 12th place already. If he wasn't, then he's lost the place. Kolbath then in 11th place now. The number 7 car of Van Rossum trying to find his way back up as quickly as he can, because losing a place is never, never good. As for fights in the top 10, Savasa is now right behind Fry once more. He's going to second ahead of him towards Samir Foch, and Wasner has lost Max, who is just sped ahead a tiny bit. And as for race leader, Delfante is not leading comfortably. On the past laps, he's currently he keeps doing about half a second or half a tenth to a tenth quicker. Lap 3 and lap 4 were identical. And those were his 2 fastest laps in a row. Caracas behind, doing just a few tenths slower every single lap. About a second and a half that he is behind Delfante, as they were almost equal going into turn number 1. But a good run from the Italian keeps his number 2 car in position number 1. Caracas going over the line once more. He's done that on lap number 1. He's taken away every single bit that he can. And the Visceral Esports car just taking too much off the track. 6 minutes remaining. And we will get our 11th lap. So that is going to be 4 laps remaining, including this one. And Bellic doing a great job to hold on to 3rd. It's going to get him a bunch of points for the championship. But that is going to drop him down to 13th place for the start of race number 2. That's going to be, it's going to be an interesting one. Lindblom's now looking at Salvasa, who's lost the position to Fry a little bit earlier. He's now under threat from the number 5 Honda. Very nice colored car. He's going to have to take a very nice amount of points with him. Foch looking ahead to Wasner as well. I can see the red car a little bit further up ahead. There it is. There's the Bentley from Wasner in the sights of Samir Foch. Following quite closely here, going towards the underpass, fighting the car here on the exit. And they're giving it everything. These 20-minute races, no pit stops, are ideal for extracting the most out of the car, or doing at least the most that you can to push these tires to their limits. And you can do that in these races. They're just short enough for you to do everything you can. Push them to the limits, make sure they almost break, and have a good time with them. So looking at the standings, the top 5 haven't moved at all. The Wasner's gained 2, Foch has lost 1, Fry's gained 4, Varosum up 2, Silverio up 4, and that's everything for the top 15. Behind that, it's a lot of shaking, a lot of shuffling. Martinez up 3, Lump up 3, Benz is down 3. Lots of shuffling, but the top 15 has stayed quite even from the starting grid. So it's always a fun thing to see, because that means that even though they're so close, they're just not able to get past each other. Tavaza here taking a lot of curb as well, like Caracas has done before, not going over the limit. So that's probably what Caracas was aiming for. And Lindblom still close behind. So the Honda with the Bordeaux color looking at the car ahead and thinking, I can get past that for sure. He hasn't really showed anything that proved that statement. He's getting close. The gaps are about even from last lap. They're joining the fight with the number 12 car in P9. The number 6 car in P8, I should say. That's Michael Fry. Currently losing sight of Fonch, who's trying to chase down Wasner out in first. And apologies for the small naming mistakes. It is late. I have been tired for a moment, so forgive the mistakes on that bit. So Lindblom looking for a top 10 finish, wants to make it a top 9. But you do have to remember, every position that you gain now is a position loss on the start for the next race. So that's something that they'll have to figure out. 2 more laps after this one. Delphante is currently 1 minute 20 in, and he needs about 40 more seconds to complete it. And then we'll have just over 2 minutes, and they will be able to do 2 more laps in total. A fight now for 17th. Corning up ahead. Resch has just lost Lampe behind, who's got Penzes on his tail. This is a 4-way battle for that 16th place. Small slipstream being taken here by Resch, who's got Cornig just up ahead of him. Martinez is in 16th, got a big gap ahead of him, so no way to take another slipstream and cancel out that advantage. So he might just have some company on this final lap, because these 4 are in a train and they're looking to do some damage to the cars ahead. Or should I say car ahead, because they don't want to be caught by Habold in 21st. He's got his problems already behind him. Named Mando, who's on his way to take away a spot. But it is looking like we can take this train and settle it towards the end of the lap. So out in front, nothing important happening in the top 3. The podium positions pretty much solidified, with these drivers all having a solid race. The fight for P15 also over, with Washi getting our pole position and Severio lining up alongside. Granted that Sav does not make any mistakes. The fight for P5 still going strong. Max in the silver and orange car, just slightly ahead of Wasner in the Bentley. Top 5 is as they were, is as they qualified. And Wasner up 2 spots. A small charge from the start, but hasn't really gained anything off the line. And the Boatley looking a little bit feisty, but just not strong enough out of these corners to be able to catch Max. It's only a few more corners to go, and we are looking like we have Delphante out for victory. The Italian looking 3rd in the championship, getting a good run in qualifying, getting pole position and taking turn 1 the absolute best he could. Eric Delphante winning race number 1 in Suzuka season 20, round number 9 in the hands of Eric Delphante. The number 2 car getting in first, pushing the number 1 car down to 2nd. And I forgot that we have another lap going, because I forgot what I said just 2 minutes ago. We got 1 more lap to go. It looks like Delphante is going to take this one. Going to take this one for the next lap. And Wasner very happy with this extra lap, because he does get close to Max. Gets along the outside, forcing Max to brake in a little bit of a different line than he's used to. But Max doesn't care, just puts it on the perfect spot anyway and runs away with it. But it does show a little bit of pressure a little bit further ahead, and some fighting here in the middle of the pack. Martinez in the 39, dropping back a tiny bit. This is the car that was being chased down by Cornig, who's just gone ahead, and they're still fighting side by side, going into the S's. And it's Lampe who is just behind them. Resch has lost some time, and it looks like Martinez is losing more and more places as Lampe has gone through as well. Resch right behind him in the white car. And then we have Penzes in the green car. Hambolt's joined this fight. Mando's right behind. Martinez losing another spot here to Resch, who has gone through. And now it's Penzes looking for some action. And these drivers, I think it should be. I think they're all happy, but Martinez not happy that he's taken another lap on this race. To white flag now. Final lap for sure, but the Audi dropping behind like a rock. I believe he's the only Audi on the track from the looks of it. He does have Penzis right behind. It's going to be a close one all the way to the finish. Koenig in 16th. He's got 10 seconds ahead of him. No way he's going to get another position, but he has to defend from Lamp. The number 35 car is going to be sending it very deep into the spoon corner. There's more and more brakes and trail braking. Looks like Pujon at the moment, and it seems like there's contact. And that seems to be contact between Resch and someone else. We're going to go check the replay after the race. And it's Eric Del Fonte who takes home the victory in race number 1. A lap after I've already announced it. Carrera in second place, Bellic in third, completing our podium. The fight's still not done as Kolbath is currently in 11th, just ever so slightly behind Lindblom in the top 10. Lampenau in 17th, behind Koenig, doesn't take the position, and they cross the finish line in this order: Koenig, Lampe, Penzis, Mondo, and Habold across the line for race number 1. But the victory goes to Eric Del Fonte, who's parked his Energy Sim Racing car in the pits. And that's going to be the victory for race number 1 in the hands of Eric Del Fonte. Quite a hectic one towards the end. Unsure if that was going to be a great finish, but the victory in the hands of Del Fonte, always a good one to look at. We should be going over to a little bit of a break in between. See if we can whip up the results from the Porsche Cup that we had earlier today. There it is. These are the results from the Porsche Cup that we were looking at earlier today. So if you've missed it, these are the results from race number 1 from this evening. Fry taking the victory, Wasner in second, Florence in third place. We also see some names that we see on the grid today for the Pro Series. Reminder, this is from the PTT Racing Porsche Carrera Cup from earlier today. The results have come in, and we do have the updated standings, meaning that we can go and see if Carrera still holds on to the lead of the championship, even though he missed out on this round, or if Fry, with this victory, has taken away that lead and gained the top spot in the standings. Gonna take a quick look before we head on to the break, and it is Carrera still holding on to that first place. Like I said, we have those drop rounds, and he's gained a tremendous amount of points. Lost a little bit of ground on the cars. It's Fry who was from second place, but he's in 4th now. And it's Kren who's gone up to second place. That's quite interesting to see, because Kren did not finish in the top 3, but he was 5th place. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of this right now in the standings. We'll take a look at that and that later on. But before we head on to race number 2, we're gonna have a small break between the sessions. We're gonna have a 10-minute countdown onto the trailer, and then we should be back with the action for race number 2. So don't go anywhere, but the kitchen to grab a little snack, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes. And with that, our break is over. If you weren't paying attention, apologies for the sudden interruption of the trailer being dropped. That being said, the cars are out on track. We've got a few more minutes before we head on to race number 2, which means that I should be able to run the results of the Pro Series for race number 1. I hope that is all ready. There it is, the Suzuka Circuit Casing Pro Series. Race number 1 has concluded with Eric Defante taking the victory, Grantis Carrera in second place, and Kevin Bellick taking the unexpected third place from a third place qualifying. Great run from him with Van der Meer in fourth. Max holding on to fifth with Wasner and Fudge close on the chase. 49 drivers participating in this event, so we're gonna have 2 more pages of our results before we head on to our standings. And as a reminder, the standings before this event, we had Castorino out in first, Caracas in second, Delfante in third, Fudge in fifth, Fry in sixth. I'm talking nonsense. Castorino first, Caracas second, Delfante third, Fudge in fourth, Fry in fifth, Lindblom sixth, Van Rossum seventh, Wasner eighth, Bellick in ninth, and Savaza in 10th place. Now, with all of these results, we are getting a little bit different in the standings. That means that we are currently looking at the standings like this. Delfante is taking over, Castorino's dropped down to third place, Caracas stays in second place, but does get past Castorino as well. Lindblom gone from 6th to 4th, Savazar from 10th to 5th, Van der Meer's jumped up into the top 10. Bellick has gone from 9th to 7th. Fudge has dropped down from 4th down to 8th. So lots of shuffling up in the top 10. But the most important thing is that Castorino dropped down to 3rd place. Caracas stays in 2nd, and it is Delfante who takes the lead of the championship, retakes it after several weeks of staying a little bit further back. Delfante's got some good runs in previous seasons as well, so very happy to see him jump up on the top of the table once again. And of course, that is after our 20-minute event. We still have our 40-minute event to go. That is going to be starting in just a few moments' time. We have 10 more seconds until we start with the countdown. Or at least the countdown for the drivers to get back into the pits and then get onto the track for another few minutes to get their setup all done and ready. And then we can head on to the formation lap and our new grid with our top 15 reversed. So we're going to have a quick look at that between the sessions as we go on. Hold on, let me actually pull that up for a second. So these were the results from the first race, meaning that Delfante will start in 15th and Washi will start in first place, and the rest of the grid will be swapped around. So we'll have our top 15 reversed, and we should have a quick look at that right now. We're looking at Delfante, our victor, for race number 1, and a few drivers waiting to go into the pits and start our little wait for the formation lap, or for the waiting round as we speak. Hopefully the grid will work this time around. It hasn't really been working for our previous 2 races. Hopefully it will work now, or else I'm gonna have to find someone to help me fix the grid. So apologies for that. I'll run with it manually, so we won't see all the low fuel motorsport stats that we should be seeing. We can still see the drivers and respect them for the positions that they are starting in, because this is the top of low fuel motorsport. These are the drivers that are back here again every single week to show us how good the racing can be. The drivers that we need to look at, of course, here at the front is Michael Washi from Deep Voice Racing. In the number 18 car, it's going to be starting from pole position, and it's Sav in 2nd place. To look to take P1. It's gonna be quite a close one from the looks of it. Nirka Sav, also a fast driver with the number 13 car, and that Ford's got some power. It's gonna be a rolling start, of course, and we'll have to see what happens after this. See if we can get our grid going. We cannot get our grid going. This was the grid from before, so good to know that it still works. But we'll have to wait a moment before we can set that one up. So now that we know that it works, so we'll just have to wait a few more moments. As you can see on the grid, Delphante, Carrera, Bellic, our podium sitters, are currently 15th, 14th, and 13th, respectively. Wasner now probably happy that he couldn't get past Mex, because this is the race that pays out the most amount of points. 20-minute race, sure, gets you quite a bit of points, but the 40-minute race gets you the most out of everything. 12:12 p.m., meaning that we have our optimum track temperature back again, lightly cloudy, 23 degrees Celsius in the air, 29 degrees Celsius on the track, no wind to be found, so nothing to worry about for the drivers. If you're not watching yet, if you're just slumbering behind the couch, behind the PC, doing some other things, get your eyes on the screen now, because this is going to be a good one. Actually, you can keep doing other things for a few more minutes. We still have 2 minutes wait. We got our formation lab going on. It's going to be about 5 more minutes before the race starts, but get ready for this event. Round number 9. Week number 9 is going to be kicking off or finishing for the Pro Series with a good race. Washi here in the Lexus, a strong car. It's going to be a good one to look at for this race as well. Don't count them out just yet. Sav, Silverio, Van Rossum, all fast drivers looking to take away that P1. Kolbath in 5th place, a wild card in the middle of all of this, as Lindblom, Salazar, Fry, Fodge, Wasner are all part of our top 10 standings at the moment. Van der Meer, another one of those just in the mix. Got a lot of points here, and Mex, I mean, Van der Meer is in the top 10 as we speak. Mex is a wild card in the middle of that as well. So Van der Meer, Bellic, Garcas, and Delphante, then of course the faster drivers out on the track. At Suzuka, let's see if our grid has updated. It has not yet. It just keeps being a little bit too late for what we want to do. See if we get the formation lab started, and then it should be updated. If not, we'll just do it on our own once again. We had 49 drivers for race number 1. We have 48 now for race number 2. We've had one driver, I think, just disconnect between the two races, meaning that we have one driver not on the grid that we should have had at the end of race number 1. In about an hour time, we'll know who gets the lead of the championship for the Pro Series, coming out of round number 9 and going into our final 3 rounds. Next week, one more race. In 2 weeks, one more race. And then in 3 weeks, it will be Christmas time. And the week after, we'll have our race set from Thursday on to Saturday. And that race will be mine to commentate. It will be mine to end the Pro Series and to make sure that everyone knows who your champion is. And whether that will be Castorino, Caracas, Delphante, no one knows and no one will know until we get there. And it's going to be a few weeks of tension and a few weeks of hard fighting, and it's never ever over until it's over. Formation lap is starting. Going to take one more try to see if we can get our grid shown here, and we cannot, meaning I'll have to do this all by myself. Washi currently in 1st place, getting that reverse grid pole position. Lining up alongside is Nirka Sav in the number 13 car. Silverio right behind row number 2. Van Rossum in 4th place. Gonna go through it quite quickly. You know the drivers from race number 1. Just pick the number of your driver. You can see them on the left-hand side as well. Kolbath in car number 14, P5. Lindblom car number 5, P6. Savasa right alongside in P7. Fry behind in the Porsche in P8. Forge in the red Ferrari, P9. Wasner in the Bentley, P10. Mex holding on to 5th place, now in 11th. Van der Meer in 12th place, just missing that podium. Bellic with a great 3rd place to his name in P13. Caracas, our 2nd place driver, in 14th. Delphante, our new championship leader, in 15th. Koenig just missing out on that reverse pole position in 16th. Lampe in 17th place. Penzes in 18th. Mundo has got 19th to his name for race number 2. Plutterman in 20th. Hall in 21st. Rademacher in 22nd. Kost in 23rd. Swartz 24th. Bucher in 25th. Anola in 26th. Resch will be starting 27th. Martinez in 28th. Dropped back quite a few positions as we saw him in the fight further up ahead with Koenig. Gorlick in 29th. Broel in 30th. Leuken in 31st. Hoffman 32nd. Levesque in 33rd. Rancagno dropped a lot back as well in 34th. Wilkinson in 35th. Silva in 36th. Shugi in 37th. Dashenko in 38th. Peter in 39th. Panoski in 40th. Now we're getting to the drivers that were part of some incidents. Kozubek in 41st. Mayer in 42nd. Kunin in 43rd. And Nagy in 44th. Gemot in 45th. Cornier in 46th. And Dre Scott in 47th. So the drivers out in the back. Some of these were part of an incident in race number 1. They've been dropped back all the way to the back of the grid, and we'll have a recovery drive to work with today for race number 2. The driver that doesn't have a recovery drive, fortunately, is Washi. He's starting out in first. He's got the book open, and it's going to be a difficult one to start. We have seen some drivers drop back from the start all the way down to 4th or 5th before this season, and it can happen. But what we've also seen just now is Delphante starting in first and gaining the lead over Caracas and absolutely slamming it over the line, and we'll get the lead into turn number 1. So anything can happen, and Washi in first place, Sav alongside in the Ford. It's going to be a good fight here on towards turn number 1. Just 2 more turns to take. It's the chicane. Everyone lining up, double file, even further back on the grid. So we are looking at 48 drivers, 24 rows on the grid going to the start finish line. 1 pit stop halfway through the race should be the strategy. In 10 minutes the pit window will open, and then it will be open for 20 minutes, and then it will close 10 minutes before the end of the race to make things spicy, and anyone can take advantage of an early or a later pit stop depending on what they want to do. A few more moments and then we're green at Suzuka. Washi on the right hand side, Sav on the left hand side, and it's just a question who will take the lead going into turn 1. It's the feature race in the Pro Series here at Suzuka, and we are going to be green for race number 2. Washi gets away quite well. Sav with the Ford, not enough power to take away anything. Silverio is going to slot behind. Sav's going to take a look around the outside, but doesn't slot in behind. Takes his nose along the outside, and does have to slot in behind now, because that is a great start from Washi. And Silverio puts his car alongside, trying to take some space, and that's immediately clean from Washi, all the way clear of the rest of the pack. Look at that gap that he's got already. But also trying to go around the outside of Silverio. He's got Cobalt on the inside now, and it's all fighting, but all clean for the top 5, staying as they were. Lindblom behind in the Bordeaux car. It's got Fry right behind, and everyone seems to be okay. But that is Lindblom trying to send a move on Kolbath. He's trying to fight back now for P5. Fry looks at this opportunity and thinks hello and thank you. Has a little look and a little tap with Lindblom, who is still slightly ahead. Wasner all the way up to 8th place already. Is looking to gain some more spots here as Lindblom takes back his position number 6. Fry dropping behind in 7th. Wasner will take a few positions off the line. We'll see how many that is exactly in a moment. Actually, can I click on them and see what it is? It's 2 places from the start, beating Max and beating Salvazar, now up to 8th place. But it's Washi with the amazing start here, as Fry has got some acceleration beneath that car, trying to take away some positions right out in front of him. And it's Lindblom the first target. And the Honda not looking too happy here with his fight. Porsche slotting in behind. Wasner now the one to look. There's no space, and he has to slot behind the BMW a bit too big, or the Bentley a bit too big to put its nose in, and it's defensive a little bit further behind for Salvazar, who's got Mex as a visitor, and it's onto the chicane, but a little bit too bumpy for the Honda to go anywhere, and Mex having to slot behind. Does have another try though, as Salvazar goes towards the inside of the track, and the outside being opened, and Mex able to maybe send it around the outside. We have seen this happen before. The inside a bit stronger here, but that's a bit too wide. That's Fudge going on through. Caracas able to make a small move here, see what he can do on this fight with Mex. Max holding on for now, but the nose is there, and that's Carrera with the small send, breaking a bit later than the Honda and trying to sweep his Ferrari around the outside. The number 1 car doing everything he can to stay within the fight, but it's Max. Ultimately, he's got the upper hand here on the outside line, now onto the inside line, and Carrera has to really fight for it with the steering wheel. He does it! He squeezes it around the outside and passes Max up to 11th place, 3 spots up from where he started. Meanwhile, Devante is 2 places down, just got his first few positions up past Van der Meer. It's now a fight further up. It's a fight everywhere. Kolbath now very close to Van Rossum, but he's got Lindblom behind him as well. This is a small train, and it's still 2 seconds clear from for Washi, who's got an amazing start and just absolutely cleared everyone going into the first sector. And it's an amazing thing to see there in the middle of the fighting that he's had behind him, but he's just absolutely cleared everyone behind. It's now just a fight for 4th place here, with Van Rossum leading this pack and trying to claim a 3rd place as well, with Silverio and Sav fighting it out for 2nd place. Some more fighting further back here. We have Van der Meer just leading Lampe and Penzes. And everyone's still quite close. Fudge now very, very close to Savasa, who's taking the inside line. And Fudge squeezing past, getting pushed off the track, trying to make it work. Touches Savasa once more. And that's opening it up for Caracas. There's contact between Fudge and Savasa. Fudge almost forced into the pits. Slowly trails back onto the racing line. But he's being dropped back a lot. And he's down to 20th. And that's from contact. 21st even as Rademacher is on through. Martinez the next one to go, but it's Fudge holding on for now. And that's not happy times for Fudge. Contact with Savasa drops him all the way down, but Caracas with the opening. Delfante on through as well. And that's great moves there from Caracas, trying to make up some place. He's got 3 seconds up ahead of him to do anything, and it's back to this train with Van Rossum gaining time on Silverio. It's Lindblom now with the fastest lap of the race. It is going to be in the Bordeaux Honda. The number 5 car is looking ahead of him. Van Rossum and Kolbath fighting. Kolbath gaining the space. Van Rossum still side by side. Doesn't want to give up the spot. Gets better traction. Pushing Kolbath wide, and he's losing places. That's Lindblom through. Fry through. Wasner through. It's now Van Rossum trying to defend from Lindblom, who's taken so much already this race. And wants to take one more. Fry on the inside now, taking the spot away from Lindblom. He's now dropped back 1, and Van Rossum just holding on. They're still side by side. Small tap on the straight, both going to the opposite side of the road. Don't want to crash on what's virtually a straight. And Fry takes the advantage into the spoon corner, but will he take it out of the spoon corner? Yes, he will. Wasner behind, getting the position off of Kolbath. Small tap in between these two, but it ultimately turns out to nothing. Big moves, big gains, big losses as well. Which unfortunately not something that you want to see. The fight for first still not happening. Washi absolutely crazy to keep it up ahead this far, this long into the race. It's been 3 laps, and he's still has the same amount of gap to South behind, about 1.5 seconds, almost 2 seconds to the number 13 car in 2nd place. Silverio's catching up though, so they might be fighting soon. Van Rossum is about 2 seconds behind, who's got Fry right behind him. That's going to be a good fight into turn number 1. Fry's got the inside line. Van Rossum towards the outside. Silverio's gotten the place on Sav from the looks of it. Davante with the fastest lap in the middle of all this, and Fry taking the space, and Silverio getting past for 2nd place definitively, definitively I should say. Lindblom almost having a little look, but there goes Michael Fry up on through on Van Rossum. So the number 7 car trailing behind the number 6. So they're trying to catch Sav now, and Silverio 2.5 seconds now behind Washi. Equal car, probably not equal setup, but a 2-second gap is difficult to overcome. It's now this train that's being trailed by Caracas. He's got Kolbath in his sights. There he is in the back. It's Grantas Caracas. He was in the fight here. Delfante's right behind. That's the man that he's fighting for a championship position. That's Caracas with a very deep send on Kolbath. Gets the space, gets the position. That's a very deep send. Absolute precision work as Kolbath now has Delfante in his mirrors. Taking up all the space that he can. The inside line there almost being closed off. the McLaren holding on to the space. It's now onto Carrera to take down Wasner. That's a rival that you don't want to trifle with. The number 3 car currently in 7th place, dropping back behind Lindblom. Doesn't have the advantage of the slipstream and might just lose out. The pit window opens in about 2 minutes. If anyone wants to get out of the traffic, now is the chance. One more lap to take and then you can go into the pits. Hopefully, because your pit has to be within the window. And you've got a few seconds of margin everywhere, basically. So it's going to be quite close. Colbath has to defend now from Del Fonte, who's pushing him behind. And it should all be fine once you enter the pit lane on the next lap. The lap times are about 1:59. So that's not too horrible. Del Fonte currently holding the fastest lap with the 1:58.732. A good fastest lap for our current championship leader. So it went from one Italian to the other. Carrera wants to stick his head in there and bring it to his nationality. Take it away from the Italian drivers in this Italian-driven game. And Carrera currently in 8th. Is going to be having a little look on Wasner. This is what he is looking at. Look for an opportunity to the number 3 car. It's going to be difficult to pass. It's a big car, a wide car. You know what to say about a guy with big shoes. And getting a little bit slidey. Can he do another send that he did before? I don't think it's going to be the same. Colbath, of course, a little bit slower here than Wasner. Doesn't have the space open for Carrera to send it into. Carrera has to stay behind now and is losing time because that's Del Fonte going on through on Colbath. Or at least they're side by side going into the spoon corner. Colbath holding onto the space very, very nicely and making it very difficult for Del Fonte to pass and making the gap ahead just ever so much bigger. Del Fonte's got one job basically, and it's getting past this McLaren, and it's not easy. So here it is, the look on the rear mirror. Or the rear wing. Colbath still staying ahead. Del Fonte backing out of it. Decides against it. This number 14 McLaren doing a great job at spicing up this championship fight. So every single millisecond that Carrera will gain is better. They're both going in. Carrera knows it. Del Fonte knows it. And the traffic is just a bit too much. Both of these drivers going into the pits. The only ones going into the pits, it seems, to get out of this traffic. So getting an early pit. They're on the same strategy. And that's going to really, really be tight towards the end of the race. Michael Fry now a bit clear of Van Rossum behind. Chasing down Sav. Didn't get the start that he wanted to. Dropped down 1 space. Silverio catching up to Washi. Gap still 1.5 to 2 seconds. There's the gap visually. Just saw Washi disappear. And a good start converted into a good lead. That's Fry a little bit too wide onto the grass. Sliding behind Van Rossum. Lindblom has to take over the grass himself. Can he break in time though? That's not. That's Lindblom going over the line a little bit too deep. Evasive action, joins the track back again right behind Salazar ahead of Van der Meer. And that was a job and a half to keep that onto the track. Let's see what happened here on the replay, because this was absolute madness here. Let's see if we can watch that from the onboard. So that's Fry going off. You saw him join right up in front. He was weaving out of the way for that, going a bit too wide onto the grass. No way to save it. No way to break it. Goes in between. Opposite lock and saves it right on time to get back onto the track. An absolute masterclass from Lindblom to save the car. He's lost a few positions out of it. But luckily, I mean, it's crazy. I'm looking at the contacts here. And there's virtually none. There's no contact between anyone there. It's crazy here. Absolutely wild and good stuff from Lindblom to take avoiding action, and it has to be looked at for from a perspective of Fry, of course, what happened there. Quick little look towards the back. Del Fonte currently clear of anything. He is ahead of Carrera. So that means that the 4-second gap here is created by the fact that Carrera took new tires. That's it. That's the strategy between the two. Carrera has taken tires, Del Fonte has not. So Davante thinking that he has the pace to keep it all the way towards the end with the same tires, and Carrera's thinking, hey, 5-lap newer tires, I'll take it. And of course, that 4-second gap is created by the longer pit stop, and that's of course what we'll be looking at a little bit later on in the race. It's going to be tight between those two, but Carrera's currently clean air, Davante currently clean air, so it should be all good to fight later on after the pit window has ended. And let's see where they can put their cars. They went in around position number 8. And they should be coming in, coming out into traffic, but unsure if they can take the lead of this. And we're looking at this fight; they're all losing time as Kolbath is still chasing down Waster to retake that position. Salvazar here behind Max, and Lindblom trying to recover from that slide. Great evasive action, but he has lost a few positions. Down 4 from where he started. Kolbath has lost a few as well, going from 5th to 7th, but has done a good job of staying where he needs to be. He's currently seen there the black and the blue McLaren out in front as we are approaching the halfway mark of the race. The drivers have about 16 more minutes to go into the pit and get their mandatory stop done, and after that they will have to sit it out towards the end of the race. As I was a little bit too deep there on the apex, took the chicane a little bit too hard, and he will be trailing behind a little bit more, going on to the next lap number 8. So still battles basically everywhere. Looking at Fry here, who's just there he is, the green car chasing down Verholsum, and then we have the black and blue car of Kolbath chasing down Wassenaar for 6th place. This battle is for 4th, and we do see Sav right ahead, and this is a 3-way fight for 3rd place. This is for the podium. Verholsum now has to look ahead and behind, and this is the worst place that you can be in a fight, because you need to overtake or else you get overtaken. But if you mess up your overtake, you're gonna get overtaken anyway. So Verholsum has a few choices to make, and if he makes the wrong one, which is 90% of the choices, he loses a space. So fortunately for him, that's going to put Fry into the space that he currently is in, the decision that he has to make. But it will be difficult nonetheless. Carrera's putting in the fastest lap of 58.560. That proves that the newer tire is a little bit quicker than what Davante's bolted onto his car. Half a second is what the time is gained already between the two. 3.5 seconds is the gap. Panoski has gone into the pits. We do have Davante with 12.5 seconds ahead of him. We just saw some cars passing underneath. Davante and Carrera are going to the underpass right about now. It's now up to the cars in the top 10 to make it interesting and get their laps in as much as they can before all hell breaks loose in the pit window. We're almost at the halfway mark of our pit window and of our race, and that means that we will be getting more pits sometime soon. Fry here with the Porsche trying to look at Van Rossum. He's having a little look at Sav as well. This fight for 3rd place. It's quite a nice view up here. A small look there for Van Rossum. There's no way you're going to send it in there, but it is still possible to put a bit of pressure on the car ahead, and Sav might be feeling it now. The gap to Silverio is just over a second. Washi holding on to it very neatly. It's a miracle surviving under this pressure. He's doing an amazing job of staying out in 1st place after that great start that he had, getting absolutely clear of everyone. That's going to be the blessing of a good start. It's being able to get clear of every single one around you. That's a nice send from Fry. The space was open. Van Rossum didn't expect it. And there's the Porsche going on through. Still a little bit side-by-side action going on. The right-hander still in the hands of Van Rossum. Fry slightly ahead. Remember, it's the Spoon coming up. It's a left-hander. Fry will get the advantage into the braking zone. We'll get the track position on Apex. We'll make a nice little block pass. Small slide on the rear from the Porsche, but we'll take it. Van Rossum has to slow down, and now it's Wasner who's in this fight. He's cleared Kolbath, or should I say, he's made the gap bigger, and now the fight is instantly up ahead. Van Rossum taking the inside line into this long left-hander. Kolbath having the premium seat to this fight, backing out just before Van Rossum goes towards the right-hand side of the track to take the optimal line, and no look into the apex, a small look into the chicane, but backing off of that before anything can even unfold. And it's Van Rossum now trying to hold on to a place. It is Silverio in the pits, Fry all the way to the right-hand side of the track. Doesn't want to give anyone a slipstream. And it's Wasner now on the inside line for the corner. Is there going to be contact going into the right-hander, into turn one? There is not going to be contact. They're still side by side onto the outer edge of the track they go. But it's Wasner to take the position up to 4th place. As a reminder, more cars going in. Lindblom is coming in, Resch is coming in, and we're approaching the halfway mark of the race, and more drivers are taking their stops. And this is where it's going to get interesting, because I do want to watch this fight, but I also kind of want to watch where Del Fonte and Caracas end up, because the gap is about 2.5 seconds. Caracas is pumping in faster and faster laps every single moment. The gap currently half a second between the two, and Del Fonte pushing very hard. It's now a quick look at where Del Fonte is going to end up compared to Silverio. Well, Silverio is coming out of the pits now, and Del Fonte is all the way through already. And Silverio being in P2, I believe, for a very long time. Now just loses so much time, because Del Fonte is already through. Look at where they are. On the minimap, you see a number 2 and a number 1 out of turn number 1, going into turn number 2. And currently the gap up ahead to Caracas is about 10 seconds. So Silverio losing about 10 seconds on just being out for longer. And Del Fonte and Caracas able to capitalize on that clean air and getting so much time. And they're probably fighting for the lead as it stands. What's she thinking? I have 1.5 seconds behind me. I can win this. But in the meantime, the top 2 runners, Del Fonte and Caracas, have set their sights on victory for themselves. Del Fonte with track position, Caracas with cleaner tires, and we'll have to see who gets this. Max into the pits, Van Rossum into the pits. Washi is in now, but to get it over with earlier, Savazar is in the pits, and it's Sav who takes the lead of the race. Wasner right behind Fry, both staying out and trying to take as much time out of each other as they can. Gonna check in with Washi in just a moment, as we can see Caracas and Del Fonte coming on through. Currently on the Spoon corner on the exit, and we'll have a look at that as they go on through. And Caracas now 2 seconds behind, so the gap is very close. And everyone just gaining a massive amount of positions. Remember, that is just for the amount of pits that they're doing. This is Del Fonte that we're looking at currently on the helicam. He needs to get past Washi to take the lead of this race. Washi is currently in the pits, and number 18 car is on the out. And Del Fonte is going to be side by side into turn number 1, will take the lead of the race. The net lead being taken by Del Fonte, and Washi not up to temps, has Caracas behind him, and it will be a close fight here for that second place. Caracas within the second, within half a second even, is going to try and put the pressure on the Lexus, but every single second that he stays behind, his tires are going to degrade faster. Del Fonte is going to run away faster. And it's Washi with a small mistake, and now Caracas is on through, and it's up to him now to retake that lead. Del Fonte now your net race leader, but first we have Sav all the way up ahead. Billig now in 9th place, chasing down Rademacher, who's had an incredible race so far. He's gone a lot of positions, but the question is now, when they pit, where are they going to end up? Because Bellic has lost some spaces. Foch has been an incident. He's dropped a lot of places as well, down to 7th, which doesn't sound bad, but I mean, if you see how many drivers have stopped already, he's going to drop way further back in just a moment's time. It is a Fry in, Kolbath in, Penzas in, Fodge in, and we can see these two jump in the pits in just a moment. Maybe, nope, they're staying out for one more lap, or at least one more lap, as we've just passed the halfway mark of the session. They still have about 3 more laps to take their pick of their pit stop. And Bellic may be thinking, I have about as much pace as the car ahead. I might be able to get an overtake on him, but not if I go into the pits now. I have to get him on the track, have to put the pressure on here, make him lose some time, and make sure that I get that space for real. Washi now, see where he is. It's Delphante still leading. Lots of drivers in on this lap, so we can check in with our race leaders and our top 3 after they've passed the pit lane. It's currently Delphante that's passing now, so we can see him jump up the order. The number 2 car and the number 1 car go all the way up, and the number 18 car jumping up right along with them. It's currently Delphante in 9th, and 1.5 seconds behind Caracas, and 2 seconds behind it is Washi, who's holding on quite well. Fry 3 seconds behind that has stopped, and it is Washi who hasn't taken tires, and it's Fry who has taken tires. So that's also going to be a good fight for P3 later on in this final stage of the race. It's Bellic now holding on to 4th. That will be a lower spot once they do stop. You do lose quite a bit of time pitting. So they will be dropped way for the back. They've got a few more laps before they have to do their stop, before they have to be in to make it valid. If you don't get a pit stop in, I believe you get disqualified for not taking all of that extra time. It's Van der Meer going in, Sav and Wasner staying out. Bellic now past Rademacher. Completely missed that while looking at the guys passing, by the way. Apologies for missing that. But Bellic got the overtake done and now is in the pits. Rademacher right behind him. Wasner staying out, Sav staying out. We can see Martinez staying out. Van der Meer is in. Luiken is in. We can see Cornier through this final chicane, see where he is gonna go. And that looks to be a pit entry. There it is. And it's Delphante now leading the race in that position. It's Sav, Wasner and Martinez, the only drivers out on track that still have to stop. Number 13 car, the number 3 and the number 39. Delphante hearing something in the rear of his car. It's not his own engine. It sounds like it, but it's not his own engine. It's a different engine. And hearing a different engine when you're essentially in the position to win the race is never good. And he looks behind him, looks in the mirror, and there is Caracas. He got about 4 seconds on strategy, not stopping for the tires, only stopping for the fuel. He got the 4 seconds, but tick-tock, tick-tock. Caracas has taken the tires, the better rubber under his car, the better grip, and there he is. It's getting closer, and he's getting ready to take away that victory. Delphante doing everything he can, but the clock is ticking. Time is running out, and it's 7 more laps after this one. And looks like Caracas has got the pace, about half a second every single lap. It's now just looking for the place to make the overtake. Sav is in the pits, making it now P3 for Delphante, or Caracas if he does make it through on this lap. It's Martinez out and Wasner also still out. Martinez getting close to the pit entry now. Will he take his stop? It doesn't look like it. Might just be going through. Nope, it is. He is going in. That's Martinez through. Wasner, the only driver still out on the track. Everyone else either in their stop or has stopped. And it's now Delphante's turn to defend from Caracas. Looking at the rear wing, it is Caracas. Very, very big in the mirrors, most likely taking a lot of that curb, doing everything he can to gain as much time on Delphante, put as much pressure on that Honda. And it's going to be close. But turn 1 might be the space for the move. It's going to be Carracas looking for it around the outside. Delphante on the inside with the defense, but the tires are holding on quite nicely. Small tap between the two. But Delphante holding on heroically to his position. And Carracas having to slot in behind for position number 2. It is not fair for these old tires to hold on like they are. But it's Delphante who's making it work. And Carracas having to work for it. A small emergency icon next to Carracas' name. That just means that they had a small little bit of contact. Nothing to worry about. Rubbing is racing after all. Delphante doing everything he can to hold on to this position. And he is doing it mighty fine. Carracas, a few tenths is all he needs. It's half a second every single lap. On the previous lap, it's 7 tenths. But now they're about even. The same gap that they had last lap, they have now. And it's going to be so close to find out who will take the victory here. And the victory here is going to mean so much for the championship. It's going to mean the championship lead after this event, going into the final 25% of the season, the final 3 races. And having that momentum is going to give you absolutely everything you need to try and win this championship. Every point counts, and Delphante knows this. Carracas knows this. Wasner's into the pits, so it's going to be in net position now for the next car that gets the overtake done or gets past them, past the timing line as they approach their the start-finish straight. It's over the line for Delphante, and I'm unsure at how many warnings they've had so far. But Delphante might have just picked up another one, and it's Carracas right behind. If you're looking at the lap times, last lap 59.5 for Delphante, 58.8 for Carracas. This lap it's going to be 55.5 for Delphante, 55.8 or 59.8 for Carracas. Apologies, 59.5 for Delphante, 59.8 for Carracas. They are slowing down. It's Carracas whose pace has been halted and about a second of time lost staying behind Delphante. 6 laps remaining and the defense is on. I want to look somewhere else, but I'm afraid that I just cannot get my eyes off of this fight. It's Delphante doing an amazing job of holding on to these older tires, and Carracas just stuck behind this Honda, trying to do everything he can to put his Ferrari alongside, or even a nibble at the rear. And he's following closely, very, very closely, but there's nothing that he can do. Delphante is putting his car everywhere that he needs to. Now from the onboard here with Carracas, is there going to be an opening into the hairpin? He hopes for it, he's looking for it, but Delphante puts it masterfully right where he needs to, and there's no space for him to go on through. 14 spots up for Delphante, 12 spots up for Carracas. Can Delphante repeat what Carracas has done so many times and get that double victory and extend the lead in the championship going out of round number 9? Only time will tell, and it's 10 minutes until the checkered flag, until we see who wins this race. But it's now Delphante's to lose. Look at the pace in the bottom right. It's 58.7, 58.8 onto 59.8. That's the moment that Carracas caught Delphante. That's the moment that he's lost everything that he had on pace. A little bit of a slide there for Delphante, showing that his tires are going to be absolutely cooked going into these final stages of the race. And this time it's Carracas going over the curb a bit too much and getting that track limit to his name. Is it a warning? I don't know. Is it a drive-through? Definitely not. That's not a drive-through just yet, but it might become one a little bit later. But here we have it. It's Sav out of the pits with a 59.8 on this lap. Just a little bit slower than Carracas and Delphante, but they will be in the fight once these two start battling and losing a bit more time later on. Sav can still take this away. Wasner is there, Fry is there, just all within 3 seconds, and this can still become a fight for definitely for the podium spots, but maybe even for the win if anything happens between Delphante and between Carracas. Now I've been yapping way too excitedly. That my voice is hurting. It's starting to hurt a little bit. So we're gonna take a little sip of water to. If anything happens, I'm gonna spit it out over my monitor, and then we'll have a little bit of a mess. But it's currently still Delphante leading Carracas, and the pace is quick compared to the rest. Even though they're fighting, the pace is very, very quick. But Carracas cannot get his his true pace shown. The door is open there from the looks of it into the hairpin, but Carrera is not able to take it. It's going to be a close one for these final 4 laps. Like I said, it's Del Fonte's position to lose. It's his position to defend, and it's Carrera, the one that has to gain something from it. Fry now right behind Wasner. He's taken my advice. He's listened, and he's now caught up to the rear of Sasha Wasner. This is going to be a fight for 4th place that might just turn to a fight for 3rd place. And it's very close between the two now, going onto the fast left-hander. And we're looking at turn 1 from the helicam with Carrera first. If Fry can't get his car alongside now, it's Wasner going defensive into the chicane. There's nothing that's happened just yet. Carrera now he's got the slipstream. Del Fonte on the inside. Will he get alongside for turn number 1? I don't think he can. Substantially, he's going to put it all the way around the outside, and he can, defying the limits, gets ahead ever so slightly, but it's Del Fonte holding on to it. The better tires from Carrera doing a lot of work for him, but Del Fonte masterfully holding on to it and will hold on to the position going through the S's, and it's Del Fonte holding on to the position after a relentless attacks from Carrera. He still holds on to the lead of the race, and this is going to go all the way to the wire with Del Fonte holding on to his tires by a tiny little thread, and Carrera pushing his threads all the way to the end as well. They might be just as worn by the time that they get to the finish line. I don't want to see what the rubber looks like when they pass it and when they return back to the pits. It is Del Fonte holding on, and there's no fuel saving from any one of these two. They're going to have to overfuel the car by a liter or 2 if they want to make this all work. They're driving into the absolute optimum. And Honda versus Ferrari. Never thought I'd see this at Suzuka, but it's Del Fonte and Carrera giving us a good show. Good defense into turn 1. Didn't think it would happen. I didn't think anything. I mean, I thought maybe Del Fonte was able to take it to hold on to P1, but maybe Carrera around the outside with the cleaner tires. But Del Fonte is just so clean all throughout that the first corner, and then going to the second section, the S's. He's just holding on to the place, and this time around he's gone off the track a tiny bit this lap. No penalty for Del Fonte, no penalty for Carrera, and it's another run towards the line. It's another attempt at an overtake, another slipstream being taken by Carrera, the outside line being held by Del Fonte. He knows that he needs the inside line because the outside line is Carrera to take. And holding on to it, a bit of aero wash, a bit wide there, and there's the nose from Carrera. Del Fonte holding on, and he's still ahead. It's masterfully done by Del Fonte. Every single time I'm thinking Carrera has the advantage on the tire. He can take it into turn number 1. That's the corner that you have to make it. That's where your grip is limited, and you have to get past. But it's just Del Fonte being such a monster in this Honda, just getting every single corner right and not losing out on anything that Carrera is doing. The laps are going into the 2 minutes, even though Wasner and Fry behind are doing 1 minute 59s. And speaking of that, this fight is becoming close as Kolbath has joined in as well. It's now a 3-way fight for P4. It's not for the podium. Sav's got that about a second behind him. As Fry looks towards the inside, it's going to leave him vulnerable for Kolbath to maybe make a move. Nothing happens really, but Wasner, not the best exit ever, gets it good enough for Fry to not do anything to the Bentley ahead. Del Fonte now clear ever so slightly of Carrera. So going towards the back straight once more. It's going to be a look into turn 1 once again for Carrera. There they are, just disappearing out of sight. It's very, very close. I can tell you, it's been close for ever since they come out of the pits. There was a 4-second gap, and then Carrera's just hunting it down, and the lap times are diminishing. They're dwindling down, and that doesn't look like the best exit for both of them. And they're pushing so hard. Carrera once again across the limit. Must be racking them up like crazy. A 2-minute 0.1 for both of these drivers on the previous lap. It's now a 59.5 and a 59.7 respectively. It doesn't look like Carrera can make anything from this corner this time around. For the back, the fight still going on, but Fry not able to do anything either. Kolbath, Fry and Wasner now joining Sav. And this is going to be the fight for the podium. Third place not solid yet. And the front two picking up the pace a tiny bit together. Now it's Sav's position to lose. Third place by about 3 seconds. He's got a second behind him to Wasner. He's got a lot of pressure from Fry. That's going to be a saving grace. And maybe the number 13 can hold on. Maybe the Ford can keep his podium position. It's all into the hands of these guys behind him. Wasner, Fry and Kolbath. It's Carrera now. Onto Del Fonte. It's again nothing into the hairpin. Fry doesn't seem to be able to do anything. That's contact. That's Kolbath. It's Fry sideways. He's backing off. That's a big carnage. Further back. And Mex is going on through. Van Rossum through. Van der Meer through. Salazar through. It's now Lindblom who's joined this fight. Punches up to 12th place. After the incident that he's had earlier on, he's made a good recovery. And it's contact between Fry and between Kolbath. I might be able to get a quick replay on this. See what happens here. So this is Kolbath from the looks of it. Going to the helicam. It's Fry who's going towards the apex. And it's just a small tap. But that makes Fry stationary. Mex taking avoiding action towards the middle. And they all go as they were. It's strange to see. But it's Fry who's been spun around. And almost happening again there on the apex. We have to go back towards Carrera. It's so close once again. A time advantage 59.2 for Devante, 59.0 for Carrera. Nowhere close to his fastest lap of a 58.4. But it's now a fight for the lead and a fight for P3 right behind with Sav and Wasner in third and fourth. It's the final lap of the race. Del Fonte's got a few more corners to hold on to. Turn 1 was the most important one. That's the one that he held on to. Carrera nowhere to go but to P1 or stay where he is. He doesn't have that many slots left to get the overtake done. It's got to be the hairpin up ahead, but I don't think he's close enough. And I don't think Del Fonte is going to allow that either way. It's Kolbath now dropping back on the timing screen. Dropping about a second behind Fudge, giving Lindblom and Fudge both a position. And Fry being cleared from the number 14 car, and it's the checkered flag out. The first cars across the line will be the winner of the race, and Carrera is checked out. He's a half second behind now. The biggest gap that he's had since the start of the race, or since the start of this fight. 7/10 now, and it's Del Fonte with the final push. Both of these drivers going to the limit. Del Fonte not taking tires, taking track position, and showing Carrera a masterclass of defending, giving us a masterful show here at Suzuka. Week number 9 at the LFM Case King Pro Series Suzuka being concluded with one of the feistiest battles I have seen in all of my commentary. It's Eric Del Fonte with the number 2 claiming position. Number 1, the first to the checkered flag, is Eric Del Fonte, championship leader, coming out of round number 9 with Carrera slotting in second, Sav holding on to that podium spot, and Wasner just missing out on a podium place. But it is Eric Del Fonte to take the victory here at Suzuka, and the rest of the grid slotting in, as you can see. Them all go on the left-hand side of your screen. Fudge just missing out on the top 10 finish. 3/10 behind Lindblom in 10th place. It's just... wow. No words. Absolutely no words for what I've just seen. Absolutely crazy for Del Fonte to take that victory. It's 2 for 2 today in Suzuka. Absolutely crazy. Gonna be waiting for for an interview, and I really hope that I can get some words with Delphante and get some words with some of the other guys as well for the podiums. Carrera taking 2 second places, Delphante getting 2 victories for today. It is a wild afternoon here in Japan. We should be able to roll in to the results once this is all over. I'm gonna quickly head on to the studio, see if we can get some interviews going on, and afterwards we will get some standings and some results for all the series that we've seen today. So as it stands, no interviews just yet. So I'm gonna quickly improvise, I suppose. We'll have to make do. Let's see. If you've missed the first race, of course, we've had the PTT Racing Porsche Carrera Cup, where I can, of course, show you the standings or the results from today at Paul Ricard. Michael Fry taking the victory just barely over Sasha Wasner in second place, and Max Florence getting third place, the final podium spot to his name. Bucher missing out on that by just a little bit. Rangano in fifth place, and everyone else slotting in as follows. Going into this weekend, or this race series, with Carrera out in first. He's missed out on this event for the Porsche Cup. So Carrera in first place does get a drop round, and that's going to give him a standings advantage, and that means that he is staying out in first place for this series with 11,120 points, right above Kren and Bucher. And Fry went from second place to fourth place, even though he has won. And this is all due to the drop rounds that we have in between these in these series. So your 2 lowest rounds are being dropped. So if you score any lower than a round that you've previously done, that means that this round will become the drop round, and your points will be released. So that means that if you do finish behind someone else, you still get the amount of points from the previous worst finish. So that means that Fry, even though he won, can still theoretically just be dropped down, because he's not gaining any bonus points, but other drivers might just do so. Before we head on to the standings, and before we head on to anything of the sorts, we will have a little talk with some of the drivers. I have in the commentary waiting room, I have waiting for me to drag them in. I have Eric Delphante, I have Sasha Wasner, and from the looks of it, Wasner second place in the Porsche Carrera Cup, 6th place in race number 1, and then 4th place in race number 2. Gonna drag him in real quick to congratulate him on a podium, and then also with some good results. Wasner, welcome to the booth.
Hello.
First of all, congrats on the Porsche podium. Yeah, I'm missing out on the victory by just a tiny little bit. Where was the time left? It was about 4/10, I believe. What was the where was it?
In the Porsche race, or in the?
Yeah, in the Porsche race. You were 4/10 behind Fry on the finish line.
Yeah, we just fought really hard. Oh yeah, he defended very hard, I would say. I couldn't get past him, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a report incoming for him because he killed Max.
Right, yeah, we saw some incidents on Paul Ricard. Some big incidents, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna hope for any penalties or reports, but for you, I will. Maybe there's gonna be a free victory out of that. Yeah. Yeah, and then the Pro Series. How was the race from your experience? You got P6 in race 1, P4. Very good recovery from race number 2. How was that?
Well, it was just luck for me, I guess, because I didn't change tires as always in the Bentley, and the 2 guys behind me had new tires, I guess, and they crashed. And then Carrera got a drive-through, so it was just luck this race for me.
Well, it seems like the taking no tires has worked out. Delphante is currently waiting for me to ask him the question, but he hasn't taken tires either. Carrera did take tires, and track position was key at Suzuka. How was the overtaking here at the Japanese track?
Well, pretty hard, I guess. I just went through when the guy ahead of me was overtaking someone, so I had luck there also. I just did my race, set my pace, and had luck. That's my race.
So a lucky day for the round number 9. How are you looking towards round number 10? Following it up with more luck, or are you actually going to go in with a good strategy that time around?
It's always the same strategy, because I took the Bentley because of it, because the tire wear is good in the Bentley, so I will always change no tires and hope for the best.
Well, it worked out this time around. Just missing out on the podium for race 2, but hopefully we'll see you again on the podium in one of the next weeks.
Yep, thank you.
All right, that was Wasner. Now we're going to go on to the big victor here. Delphante winning out on race 1 and race number 2. Delphante, welcome.
Good evening.
I think there's one thing I can say, and that's congratulations.
Thank you.
I think how much sweat is in your seat right now?
A bit in the last 10 minutes, quite a lot, but I have to say it was quite calm because I know I can manage to keep him behind, especially in the last laps, because his tires dropped a bit, so it was a little bit easier. I think if he passed me the first 2 laps when he reached me, it was easier for him to do the overtake, but then it was always more hard, so I was confident to keep him behind, and I managed to do it. I'm very happy.
Yeah, the attacks that Caracas had sent towards you were absolutely amazing. I was looking at him go around the outside, somewhere on the inside, trying to send it into the hairpin, but it was just a miracle that you hold on to it.
It was very fair, and I have to say congrats to him, because it's always very clean, and it's really fun when it's like this, when you have a competitor like him.
It's been great to watch as well.
He took DT at the last chicane. It was really fun, so congrats to him. Also, yesterday he was in Abu Dhabi, so I think it was not easy to race this evening.
Oh, lack of practice is gonna get to him then. As of this event, I believe you're currently leading the championship going into the final quarter of the season. How's the strategy in going into the final 3 rounds?
I hope just like this evening, so to be aggressive race by race, and yeah, maybe with a bit of luck like this evening, I can manage to do well. But yeah, race by race, because you know, with the reverse grid is always a bit it happens a lot times, so we have to see race by race.
No, maximize today, and let's hope that you can maximize it again next week. Thank you so much, and congrats on the double win.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
All right, so that was it for the interviews for this evening. That means that we can take a quick look over at our standings. I believe our results are in from race number 2. They should be in from race number 2. This is still from race number 1. That means that we don't have the results or the standings for race number 2 just yet. So you're going to have to go towards the website for lowfuelmotorsport.com to find out on the results there. We should be able to show it next week as well before we head in to the next event. I had hoped that the interviews were going to be long enough for it to update. It's just going to take a little bit too long. That being said, I'm going to have to cut it off here. Thank you all so much for watching and supporting the broadcast. If you want to watch more of Low Fuel Motorsport, you can subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Twitch, so you don't miss any other broadcasts. Next week, we have one more event for you. It's going to be the same format as today. Then the week after, one more, and then we have a nice little Christmas and New Year's break, and we'll be back for the final week on Saturday, the 3rd of Is it going to be the 3rd? 3rd or 4th of January. I should probably put it in my calendar right now. It's going to be moved over from Thursday to Saturday because of New Year's. I believe it's the 3rd of January for the season finale. So be sure to tune in next week and in 2 weeks, and also for the season finale. Thank you so much for supporting. I've been Olaf, aka Wops Racing. You can find more of me of Wops Racing at Wops Racing on all of my socials and wopsracing.com. If you want to join on Low Fuel Motorsport yourself, you can go to lowfuelmotorsport.com and start driving, start racing, trying to climb the ladder, and maybe we'll see you even on the Pro Series or the Porsche Cup or any other series that we're broadcasting throughout the weeks. Thank you so much to the sponsors as well for making all of this possible, and hopefully we get to see you again in one of the next ones. Good evening and goodbye.